Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting night of EGFC action. I am Loki. I am joined by Ma, and today we have a very exciting matchup for you: the University of Delaware versus the University of Tennessee. How are you feeling tonight, Ma?
We're great today. Listen, the glasses are on. We are chilling. We are here to watch some Overwatch as always. We are like in week 6 or 7 of EGF season 5 Overwatch. And not only just us, there's two separate streams happening for our matches today. So it is a very, very intense time indeed. And we have players rushing home from work, from college. They are trying to play. They're trying to get their games in, and we're trying to, of course, commentate and see what's going on with these guys as we go over to our first map really, really quickly as players do get ready in the lobbies.
Yeah, this one should be pretty interesting. We are going to be starting off on that Ilios. We get a look at it right here. That's going to be the map pool for the entire night tonight. Got Ilios starting us off, and then if you like Brawl, you're going to be a happy person. Kings Row and Saravasa round it all out. And then if you really hate Brawl, do I have a fun fact for you? We're going to Circuit Royale right after that, and Calicio to finish it off. And Calicio, gotta just play whatever you feel like at that point, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, with this map pool, I kind of like it. Ilios is just kind of a classic. I feel like the control map of all control maps. Very fun. Lots of spaces for things like Lucio Boop to really be useful here in a brawl comp. Lots of stuff that could really go well or not well, right? And I honestly, with the past couple of weeks, we've been seeing a lot of course, brawl, but within that brawl comp, we've been seeing a lot of the Mei Bastion. And even a Mei Symmetra can go. I'm not Mei Symmetra, but a Bastion Symmetra can also go very well. Especially on Lighthouse, for example. The nice, really close in quarters makes it a whole lot harder for people to recapture a point or catch a point in general if Symmetra is already all nice and set up on that point on Lighthouse specifically, correct? So lots of really fun stuff to be seeing here today, and these are of course our colleges of the night, as we kept saying. University of Tennessee, Knoxville, the Volunteers going against the Blue Hens of University of Delaware. Going to be a very exciting time. We have the blue and the orange, the complementary colors. I love these guys today. Wait, they're here for it.
That when both of these universities were founded, they were like, one day we will play each other in esports and the colors will match nicely. It was a dream they had long ago and finally fulfilled today. I gotta say, they made Smokey look mean in the University of Tennessee logo. They're such a good boy. It's such a nice dog. Not tonight though. They're bringing out the fangs as we roll right into Ilios. And starting off here, it looks like we're gonna have a little bit of the Ana dive coming up from Tennessee. Meanwhile, University of Delaware is pulling out the Diva Alari. Interesting. We usually see that kind of comp played when teams are going for really, really hard angles. They want to have everyone in the backline split up, but there's not really anyone on the Blue Hen side that needs help holding an angle. Everyone here seems pretty self-sufficient, other than the support line. So it's going to be interesting to see how they perform against something like a Doomfist.
Yeah, really happy we do have a double dive going on here at the same time. Like you're mentioning with the Ana in the back line, you do have the Yari, which is a little bit fun to play with her healing pylon, to play with her DPS output as well. But going on right here, Hydra coming in with the offense on the high ground, trying to contest University of Delaware, trying to maintain that positioning. But it's gonna be, you have to force Ideal Warrior to come down and about, trying to get the combo in. And oh my god, Warrior narrowly avoids getting D-mech there, saved by the bell, truly. But Blamathy and Carter actually going to be taking a trade. They're both tracers down for the count, but that's a lack of a tank for University of Tennessee. That allows the University of Delaware to just kind of take care of Hydra for the final burst here. But Hydra is fighting for his life in Lighthouse, but not for long. Finally going to be allowing University of Delaware to continue this fight, and hopefully Blamathy comes for a last little bit of touch, but should be able to come to claim this point very quickly.
Yeah, neither team still able to get full control of this point. Ideal Warrior doing all they can to keep it going, but this great play by Blamathy on the Tracer is keeping it unclaimed for just that little bit longer. Now the Nano out there, and Hydra is not having a good day, playing into 4 hit scans on this one. Well, 3.5, I guess, now that the change on Tracer onto Torbjorn. Hydra's not being able to find any entry. Duxta, though, gonna do what they can to contest this point for a little bit longer. Ideal Warrior immediately rejects that idea. And so it is just going to be all up to Blamathy to keep this one open. And finally, The point takes University of Delaware after what might be the longest first fight stall I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure. Such a long fight, and you already saw that Syrup was able to get that nano boost in for Ideal Warrior, and that's what kind of happened. That kind of started the domino effect of finally taking care of this point and putting it in favor of the University of Delaware. Now they can really just play around with high ground, but forfeiting the point here, allowing University of Tennessee to kind of just take it right behind and under their noses. All right, 5% on the board, not too much. Just had to contest a little bit longer to get to 19%. But with the way that University of Delaware is just cleaning up so beautifully, leaving Duckstall all by his lonesome and tied by yourself on the point, no supports. It's an easy recapture again for University of Delaware.
Yeah, I think Delaware there realized pretty early on, like, hey, we've got, you know, a good amount of control. We've got a Torbjorn set up. We've got ultis coming online. We really don't need to play for the point TM right now. We can give space, play our picks, play our, you know, our hero comp advantages, and then we can just roll right in. There's nothing they can do to stop us. And now, the University of Delaware taking a much more aggressive angle than they were before. Here's the overclock coming out of TVD, man. This has been brutal before. Can it be brutal once again? Trying to find this Brigida in the last time. Not going to be able to as Ducksta up on top with block at 1 health. Can TVD man get them? No, they cannot. TVD man, a play of almost, just barely can't find anyone. University of Tennessee reacting very well to that ult.
Yeah, for sure. And Duckstall having to use the his ultimate in order to get out of there and get the safety behind the safety of the rally from Legacy, and that should be able to secure the point really quickly. Hyper trying, trying his best to contest as well, but that's gonna allow another recapture in favor of University of Tennessee. I love that the fact that Duckstall was aware of the positioning of both his Ana and the Brigida, able to be like, okay, I'm gonna utilize my ult, get out of there, get to safety, get behind the safety of this big old shield from Brig, and then secure the point at the same time. University of Delaware does have about 25% up on Tennessee. However, it can still go either way. Hyper pops open the rally as an opener here. Hydra hiding behind our DPS and our Ana right now. And Array starting off with the assault. Not going to be quite taking Syrup out for the count quite yet. As we continue this onslaught on the actual point. We have a pulse bomb ready for Blamathy. Can we get it stuck on somebody? And we do! Hyper down for the count, but Blamathy meets his end as well right after the fact.
Yeah, that's going to swing right back to Delaware. And even though University of Tennessee is performing well on some of these fights, they're performing very expensively as well. The ult economy almost entirely to the favor of University of Delaware there. That late kill on Carter, going to be really good to make sure Carter can't get any poke going into this next fight. But Ideal Warrior coming up on their Diva Bomb should be able to provide plenty of stall. That might lead to another overclock, lead to that Torb ult. Nano coming up online pretty soon here. Meanwhile, University of Tennessee really going to have to figure out how to make it work with an Echo ult. Quick kill onto the Ana, though. That's a whole lot of resources immediately taken off the table.
For sure, and we should be seeing a pretty much even game, and then Ducksta's back on the point. That is a Magma Core gone on the floor as a way to just kind of get everyone off of Ducksta. Ducksta running right into it, however, only literally 1 HP, and down for the count once more. Carter taking the final blow with on Ducksta, leaving Tennessee tankless. That allows Ideal Warrior just kind of push in. We have the quick switch to Sombra from Hydra as a last-minute contest. Perhaps, can we? Yes, we absolutely do. We're getting hit by the turret, though, and it's a turret in question that does take Hydra out. Anyone else that can contest? Absolutely. We go also last, which is happening here. Syrup from the Ana to the Kiriko. Just get some quick TP, get the rally as well from Legacy. Oh my god, the overclock as well. Oh my god, we are using all ults we have right now. We have to claim this point as fast as possible. That's what Delaware is saying. And Legacy coming in. No rally, small shield getting pushed out of the point, and that is the first round going towards University of Delaware in control point Ilios. Very, very, very well played.
Yeah, very hard fought point there as well. Neither team willing to give an inch at the end. Still, it is Delaware who comes away with the win. Ducksta there performing really well, but getting surprisingly little out of it. I feel like every single play they made, like on the small scale was amazing, but on the larger scale, I just had such a hard time breaking past the combination of Carter and the Alari. Just able to put in so much damage. Hydra getting, almost removed from the game by the presence of all of the hit scan, all of the mechanical prowess that Delaware's bringing to the table. We never really saw Hydra able to get in on that Echo, and as a result, University of Tennessee looked like it was fighting one hand behind its back. Now Delaware, though, with a full comp change, playing just default comp at the moment, just playing meta. Ideal Warrior has been insane on the Sigma, looking to repeat that performance here as Duxta is already in a bad place. Manages to get up past the bomb, but they're not going to be able to have a charged punch as a result of that.
Yeah, absolutely not. But like you were saying, this comp change, I pretty much agree with it. You have to lose those speed boosts to get out of that situation. Any hairy situations caused by Blamethy or Hydra. And speaking of the University of Tennessee, that is Duxta down for the count. That's a tank. There's no tank for Tennessee, and it forces Legacy to back out of that situation, being chased down by both Carter and Ideal Warrior, who again is playing so aggressively on the Sigma, making all this space, walling off by the help of Carter. The rest of Tennessee can't even get back to their spawn as the point does go in favor of Delaware once more, 15% and counting. Really good start, and again, the way that Ideal Warrior does play the Sigma is so good. So to see how Tennessee is going to be able to break through, I'm very interested in learning how they're going to be able to do that.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing why, the Sigma's so prevalent in the hands of Ideal Warrior against a Doomfist. I mean, Duxta's obviously a very skilled Doomfist, but just getting removed from the video game there by Ideal Warrior. All Ideal Warrior needs to do is hit that one cooldown, and Duxta no longer exists. Carter now putting in work as the support line for both teams disappears. It's going to be up to the DPS trying to decide this one. Carter's got a good wall up, trying to hold this one a little bit longer, help the team get back. That cryo is going to add to that time, add to the chance that someone can get back just in time.
Oh my god.
Oh!
No.
Well, that's not what Duxta was looking for there. Duxta thought Carter was going to live for just a moment longer, but Blamethy hits the shot, and that's the one time you're hoping your hit scan doesn't hit the shot.
Unfortunate for Duxta. The well, it's a well for a reason. It's such a good tool for most of the time, but when you SD into it, it causes that much more of a headache. But the Dragon Blade does get popped out here, and I believe it is Nano. Yes, it is! The Nano Blade coming in, sealing the deal on Ideal Warrior, and of course, sealing the point in favor of Tennessee for the first time in the second round. But unlike it was in the previous round, where it was very even percentage among the entire time, they are about 65% to make up for. So with all this old economy backing up University of Delaware, and it's going to be really interesting how the rally from Legacy is going to be keeping Delaware alive for this next team fight.
Yeah, Legacy needs to hit an insane rally here, and Blamethy needs to hit every single one of those overclock shots. 5 ults from Delaware here, put them in one fight territory. All they need is a quick win and a stuff. Windows gonna be what's first out here. Hydra looking at the back line, trying to find a little bit of an entrance there. Hyper says no, and in the meantime, TVD is asserting dominance on the overclock. Catches 2, knocks out Blamethy's as well. Now here comes this Blizzard, this Hydra just gets slowly knocked down. Legacy, they looked like they were going for a little bit of a reset off into the well. Not going to be able to find it. Gets knocked down. That puts everyone back in spawn. And with this Sigma lift still on the table, the question is, can University of Tennessee even touch this point? Ideal Warrior is pushing forward. You can see him searching for it. Getting ready for the voice line to go. Duxta does manage to swing around the backside. That's going to delay that Sigma for just a moment longer. The beat there from Hyper, keeping everyone alive just that moment longer. Duxta on the point. Lift only catches TVD, man. That's probably going to be or as I was only catches Blamethy, gonna be enough to put this one in the 3v5 on this point. University of Tennessee still looking for an entry kill, not gonna find it. They've had the touch, they're not gonna get anything else for it. Just like that, Blue Hens turn a scrappy round 1 into a convincing round 2.
For sure, playing this Sigma. And then like the pseudo-typical like Rhine or Ramatra brawl with that Sigma has proven in meta to be so powerful. All these characters can poke very well, but also work so beautifully when they are in that space all together. And that's the flexibility of this competition. Just because you switch out the Ramatra or the Rhine or even the JQ with that Sigma. And the way that Ideal Warrior, as we've been saying, plays as Sigma so well and so smartly, utilizing the flux at the very end to kind of get the left side of the attack, just off the point, leaving the supports pretty much by themselves to be attacked by the Mei, by the Baptiste and the Lucio as well. And that Lucio from Hydra, or was it from Hydra? Oh, the Lucio was playing very, very well. Apologies.
No, yeah, I love seeing the Lucio from Delaware. They're able to beat out the Doomfist and Hydra as well several different times there, keeping them off of the team, giving the DPS so much more space. And the moment TVD Man had any amount of space to work with, everyone on the side of Tennessee was just getting mowed down completely. I mean, that's a great example of great individual play creating great, team play there and great individual play feeding into each other. Everyone gets better as everyone else gets better, and this becomes a feedback loop more and more and more and more, especially when running that Sigma comp. I mean, it's just that's default right now. That's the meta. Is you run the Sigma, you run it down, and you're seeing why there, especially in the hands of someone like Ideal Warrior. You have the chance with that rock to just basically remove any of these big dive tanks from the video game. And with how flankers aren't really in the best place right now, it's just so much easier to run this Sigma brawl.
Absolutely. And somewhere where the Sigma might not work as well, but the traditional brawl of the rest of that comp can work, is King's Row. This is Brawler's Haven. This is where they really want to duke it out, play corners very beautifully, utilize those big old shields. Even though Reinhardt is not typically, he's not good right now, not by a long shot, but anything with that big old shield from Ryan, from Ramatra even, goes so beautiful here. And as a personal Kings Row enjoyer, as everyone else is, this is going to be a very, very fun map for both teams. And the biggest factor here is, can you get past that initial choke before you even activate the objective? You have many options. You have many ways to get in. It's, can you break the defense of the defense, basically.
Yeah, I would expect to see probably pretty similar comps from both of these teams on Kings. Usually you don't pull out the Doomfist unless you're committed to the Doomfist, and right as I say that, I'm utterly proven wrong. Duxta pulls out the Sigma. Ideal Warrior, no surprise on the Sigma there. Sigma is probably their strongest hero. I don't know that I've ever seen them on anything else, and I don't know that I need to. They've made a pretty convincing case here on this Sigma. University of Delaware has consistently been running default all year. They're going to run it again here, and they're going to look very pretty on it. I can guarantee you of that. Meanwhile, University of Tennessee has taken a departure from the Doom. Usually, I would be, more inclined to see someone playing Doom on Ilos just kind of full committing to the Doomfist no matter what the map type is, but Kings Row might be so much of a brawly map that Tennessee is just not willing to throw it out there. And sure enough, just default versus default on this one. Meta versus meta, running it down. Who's got the stronger Sigma? Ideal Warrior trying to make a very clean case for that up front here, as they're showing lots of aggression around the statue.
Yup, lots of aggression around the statue. This is one of the entry points I was talking about. Lots of ways to just kind of go through, but you see literally the wall that that Delaware is putting up right now with the shields, with both Meis on both teams putting up their own walls to try to trap out the Sigmas or trap out the tank or the other DPS out of position, and not gonna be able to work. Love the team synergy here, making sure our tank gets away from the raw, and then on the other hand of things, Duxta goes down for the count, and the rest of the team is gonna start falling apart like dominoes. First goes Kian Kong, then they're kind of going for a Blamathy here on the Sojourn, who did go Widow for hopefully an easy, quick pick, but opting to go for a Sojourn, and then going down back to Spawn and meet his teammates. That's a beautiful start, a beautiful defense from Delaware going into the first part of King's Row.
Yeah, I love Ideal Warrior there, positioning that fight so incredibly well, and you can see all of the team around Delaware putting so much pressure on Duxta. The moment that suck is forced out, Ideal Warrior has been holding the rock all fight long, pulls it out, immediately knocks Duxta down, and there's nowhere you can go from that point. Now Carter once again looking for a wall. That lift comes out so quickly. First fight lift, you never see it, but you're seeing it here, folks. Ideal Warrior is stating their name right now.
The lift as a response to the window is what it was so smart. Just Okay, just because you pull out window does not mean that we have to now go and find cover. I'm just gonna pull you away from that position, and that puts a wrench in University of Tennessee's plans. They have only well, they have 4 ults incoming. They have Duxa's own flux coming as well, but they have the beach up and they have Blizzard. So a lot of ult economy can be used here on both ends. So it just depends on what order are we going to go in. We're playing a little bit of the poke game. We're playing a little bit far range, trying to find, can we get an early pick? Hopefully on the Baptiste, hopefully on the Lucio. Either one of the supporters being down would be a great entrance for University of Tennessee. But University of Delaware rotating around to the back end of the hotel, popping out the Blizzard from Hydra. And do we get a pick? It's going to be Duxta on the other end as TVD Man does have the overclock as a quick response, flying out of that Blizzard and just taking care of Tennessee's DPSs, pushing them all the way right back to spawn. And oh my god, please don't, not like this. Let him go back to spawn. Don't wall him off like this. And we do. Perfect. Overclock is ready for Blamathy as well, but the click on the heads have to be precise for it to have the momentum you need to get this point right now.
In here for Tennessee, that means Delaware is probably looking to close this one out right here, right now, or just completely nullify any ults that University of Tennessee might be throwing out. Lift finally coming through, that's going to grab Ideal Warrior, turns this into a 3v5, and at that point, I don't know that University of Delaware is willing to commit any more to this. No, and with Carter dead, not even a recontest on the table at this point. University of Tennessee, they had about 1 fight left on the clock, maybe 2 if they went fast, but they're going to get a new lease on life. 3 minutes back on the clock, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. And the University of Tennessee now has to figure out how to get past these arches.
And with all this big old space in the alleyway, it's going to be very, very difficult for, I feel like for either team, especially on the defense, to deal with what Duxa can do on the Sigma, which is that long-range game plan that Sigma can definitely work with so beautifully with the projectiles, with the rock, and as well as with the grass when you need it at the last second. Now, I love that the positioning of Delaware here is super aggressive. It's hyper aggressive on this corner. Tennessee has to be forced to play around the payload, but as you play around the payload, it moves even further, pushing you even further out of position without even meaning to. So they have to go back, play the back corner of those archways, initiate with the May wall, and then in return, Legacy pulls out the beat, but not gonna be enough as the Blizzard from Carter does come out, taking care of Hydra on that back end. The entire team of Tennessee full huddles in the building right next to the payload, and then they're all cornered there for Ideal Warrior and the rest of Delaware to just clean it right up and reset. And this payload is not even halfway to point B.
Blamathy there almost turned that fight around. TVD man committed overclock to that fight right at the end, trying to get the cleanup. Blamathy took them down, but their front line couldn't survive long enough to keep it going. That's still going to get the University of Delaware through that arches, so they get to advance to this next corner. And with TVD man before the fight even starts, going to be interesting to see how University of Delaware reacts. They're showing aggression here with that window, trying to push up, give everything they can. But the response window now from Tennessee. Kong now gonna retake that corner. Ideal Warrior walled off from their support, sucked just enough, and a great immortality as well. Just sitting right on the edge of that corner, just enough to get University of Delaware out. Now Ideal Warrior has their own suck ready to go. 3 is gonna come out from Hydra. Is it gonna be enough? I don't know. The Duxta. The Flux, though, in the back catches Syrup, and that's all you need to turn a fight. Both Baptistes swapped out now with Ideal Warrior in the middle of this Tennessee team. Meanwhile, Duxta, clean escape route there to get back to the red team on point. And just like that, University of Tennessee keeps it rolling.
Yeah, Carter coming in with the last-minute contest with the May cryo freeze, but it's just simply not going to be enough, as they should be able to cap here at point B and add another minute and a half to their clock. A little bit less than 2 minutes left on the board here to make it to 3 points, and this is arguably maybe the hardest point of them all. It's very enclosed. You have to deal with very sharp corners and a couple of off angles that TVD man and Carter can really play around with the gun, with the railgun, and of course May's secondary fire. Now we're going to go for the wall. Ideal Warrior able to maneuver right around, not getting caught out by Hyper on the other hand, and TVD man falling right behind. Unfortunately, being cut off from the team, allowing the, or I'm sorry, forcing them to just exit out of the team fight. Ideal Warrior taking the kill for himself as to not give anyone any more ult charge than needed. But that's another reset and another really good push for University of Tennessee. Just last final stretch here. Last corner turn. Home run for University of Tennessee.
Yeah, Volunteers had a hard time getting through point 1, but now as they're closing in on full map completion, it's going to be 1 or 2 fights left on the table. TBD Man takes out Blamethy. Overclock has not been going the way of whatever Sojourn uses at first so far today. TBD Man repeats that pattern as they pick up 2, as well as the escaping Lucio on Legacy. And Ducksta actually doesn't get staggered. Finds themselves getting killed right there to lead into the last one. Delaware, 4 ults on the table. Meanwhile, Volunteers gonna have 2.5, 3 maybe? Gonna find something late, gonna have to get a really nice blizzard out here, but first they're gonna have to find a way to get through Carter's blizzard as well as this window and Ideal Warrior's lift to even get to this cart. And as the window comes out, Tennessee opting to play line of sight and tick down even more time off the clock.
They have 10 seconds left, Loki. They're trying to... There's 2 blizzards going on here. A lot of people are frozen. It's TVD Man going down for the count, and Legacy, both Head Legacy and Hyper, are forced to use Beach Up. Beautiful ammo lamp coming in, and that allows us to get University of Tennessee Legacy taking care of Carter. This is pretty much heavily favored in Tennessee's favor. Somehow, with the lack of old bank that they had in comparison to Delaware, they're gonna cap. Can anyone contest in time? I don't think so. All 4 on the cards, moving as fast as they can. I don't even think, no, the bash, even the bomb jump is not gonna be able to make us get in time to contest. And that was a very, with only about 2 or 3 ultimates that were at the ready in comparison to Delaware having 4 and like and a half. That was an amazing usage of B and then the May Blizzard as a result. Very, very good stuff all around from University of Tennessee. They did end on overtime though, so if University of Delaware does get I believe over a minute on the clock, they might have this in the bag.
Yeah, over a minute on the clock cancels out any chance to attack on your own end. It's just the team that got over a minute. That's why you really want to save any amount of time you can on that last fight, whether that's just to have a second left on the clock or whether that's to have a second over 1 minute left on the clock. Both of those markers so incredibly important. Tennessee, however, not able to hit either of them. They got the full cap with no time on the clock. It's going to be up to a good defense here. After that first point, University of Delaware looks so less composed. Like, that last fight, with ult advantage and time left, or not much time left in the clock, I would expect Delaware to, play that really, really aggressively once the time started to get a little bit lower. Find the kills before they even get a chance to go to card, before you even get a chance to overtime. Once it's in overtime, everything gets so scrappy. Those respawn timers get so much longer. You really want to cut it down before it even gets to that point. University of Delaware, I think, just got surprised out by how quick University of Tennessee played that. Hydra able to throw a great mail into the back line and finding great use of it. But now onto this next point. Legacy trying to work quickly, but Ideal Warrior immediately takes down Hydra. Legacy going to get forced off that wall very quickly as Ducksta forced into a corner of wall behind them. Do they have an exit? Just barely. They can't get back to their own ammo, however. And Blamethy is who gets left behind as Ducksta tries to press the S key to escape. Now Kong as well getting staggered. No chance to even recontest on this point as the time ticks ever on. And just like that, University of Delaware not only has point A, they're already through arches, moving up to first corner.
They have 5 minutes and 40 seconds to get us from point A to point B, Loki. That is like double the time that Tennessee had. And then I love the fact that they're taking up all this space. Blamethy narrowly able to escape and then gets caught in the feet by Carter. And that is going to have to force Tennessee to back up even further. And that just lets Delaware just move up the corners, being able to play this corner right next to point B. And look how far away the payload is from that point. It just forces Tennessee to play so passively and not really be the aggressor. They are instead allowing Delaware to push this cart way too far.
Yeah, Delaware here doing a really good job of pressuring out Ducksta and forcing them to press that S key. And the moment they do, Blamethy, who's been taking these aggressive angles, is left alone. Hydra cut out very, very quickly there before this fight can even get started. And just like that, University of Tennessee is going to have to take this fight a little bit slow, trying to get their ults. No chance, however. Carter hits the shot, and just like that, a one ult fight is going to be all it takes for University of Delaware to get to this next point. I think the Blue Hens have literally used 2 ults to get to second point, so they're at a pretty economical rate right now. 1 ult per point is not something I would ever complain about.
Oh yeah, that's the best kind of ult usage, in my personal opinion. I mean, they already capped at point B. They're pushing the payload about to turn the corner here. TVD man up on the high ground, getting pushed out by Legacy, but it doesn't really matter as this payload, although all the point is to get it from point B to point C. And I think that Delaware is doing it so perfectly. The aggression here is only allowing them to just take all this space, meeting the Flux with the Blizzard, comboing it off each other, allowing, you know, Carter to get rid of Hydra once more. Oh my god, they're gonna cap. That's a returning Flux from Duxa, but the Rock from Ideal Warrior just carries that plan and puts it into the ground. That's it. That's it. That's 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes. If I was in comp right now, Loki, I would start crying. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, look.
I'm
University of the Delaware completed the map in less amount of time that they have on that clock right now. They completed the entire map in, I believe that would be 3 minutes. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
3 minutes.
3 minutes with all the time on the clock. They have 5. I mean, Delaware could just run it back in this amount of time. Honestly, like I don't know how you hold first point in general for 5 minutes. I don't know that I've ever seen a 5-minute hold outside of like the most heroic stands in OWL ever, or contenders ever in this kind of thing. But 5 minutes against University of Delaware, who's got everything clicking. Ideal Warrior is, for lack of a better term, running over Duxta on this attack. Like, Duxta just does not seem to have the response to Ideal Warrior right now. This is just the Ideal Warrior game. I really don't want to just be blowing, you know, steam up whoever is performing incredibly well, but Ideal Warrior is controlling this lobby. They're controlling the pace. They are controlling the entire game right now, and no one on Tennessee seems to have a response to it.
I mean, how can you respond when also not only that Warrior playing so well, Syrup and Hyper in the backline are protecting their tank with all they have. Look, already utilizing the lamp. Make sure Ideal Warrior doesn't die on the first hit. But Hydra going over to the Junkrat, I do want to mention, this character is a little bit slippery. Very slippery, actually. Can live with difficult to kill sometimes and has a great amount of kill power. But you know who's not very difficult to kill? It might be Duxta going down for the count once more. The aggression. Oh, that's it. They're gonna cap point here. It's not even with no mate on the team of Tennessee. No one's gonna be able to even contest with like a cryo freeze or anything like that. Delaware taking this map within 3.5 minutes on Kings Row. 2-0 right now. It is looking very, very good for University of Delaware to take this and run it home.
And who else would the play of the game be other than Ideal Warrior? Keeping the aggression moving. 5 in the ult, 5 sent to the graveyard. Amazing tank play right there. People have been talking about, you know, oh, tank role is a little bit underpowered, supports is where it at. Ideal Warriors hasn't seemed to have gotten the memo. They are absolutely shredding right now, stating their name for everyone they possibly can, yelling it from the rooftops. And I cannot exactly blame them. With that, though, I do believe we're going to go to a short break. We'll be back before you know it with more Overwatch action. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome to what is either the ending of a story or the start of a brand new one. With map number 3, it is Flashpoint. We're either going to see Delaware close this one out or Tennessee table the turns and throw us into a reverse sweep. We are going to Saravasa. So you're going to have the answer to this question of where's the game going pretty quick here on Flashpoint. These maps don't tend to last too terribly long.
No, they really don't. And from a lot of time on Saravasa or just any both Flashpoint map, I don't know what I'm saying. I said there's like 10. No, there's 2. It's always the kind of rush brawl. Whether that rush is with the Lucio, which I'm glad both teams have a Lucio, because I feel like Lucio is so imperative in Flashpoint from getting to point A to point B to leave a situation if it gets too hairy. I mean, Lucio at this point is such a staple for Flashpoint maps, especially in competitive Overwatch. Now, we already see the switch here. We have King Kong on the Kiriko, which is a very, very interesting choice here, allowing Kiriko to have a little bit of that, Suzu cleanse for invulnerability to cleanse out any negative effects, i.e. like the Blizzard from Carter. I can see the vision here, but it's a red Universe Delaware being the aggressor all night tonight. They're already on point. They're making a stand on this stage, on this platform. They are not allowing themselves to just sit idly and passively. They already cap point. Dux is on the Junker Queen, which I love usually, but the way that Delaware is playing, I'm not sure if it is the right call here. Everyone's really split up. We do have Blamanthy on the high ground, very low. Junker Queen is walled off. She's basically won. The Suzu comes in clutch to help Dux out a little bit, but you are still so low, and the rest of the team is still a little bit too far away from one another.
Yeah, I mean, usually we see teams... Oh, Carter,
Damn.
What a shot. Wow. Usually we see teams play this Junker Queen, because especially on something like Flashpoint, you want to have the extra speed, you want to have the extra pace, you want to be able to take more fights, you really want to increase the tempo here. But Ideal Warrior has just been completely controlling the tempo so far. And so I don't think it even matters that they're not able to match the tempo of the Junker Queen tank, because they're just too good. Said it before, say it again. If you're good enough in Overwatch, meta doesn't matter. You can just play whatever the heck you want to. And Ideal Warrior, once again, one fight has gone. They already have the flux. Usually this takes 2.5 fights to get. This man's doing double time.
He's trying to get the overtime payout. Please, one and a half per hour. Please, let's go. We're getting the Ducks out of here. Hyper does go down by Legacy, but it's not going to be enough. A 1v4 is where Legacy finds themselves, and so does Hydra on the Genji. Both of them being destroyed, not able to keep the point in favor of Tennessee at all. It's going to be point 1 of up to 5 going towards Delaware. Now we're going to be moving forward. Thankfully, it's Delaware getting the closer, not spawn, but it was closer to them as they're moving towards it. So they, again, have the advantage of being on the point already. While it does take 20 seconds to unlock still, this long hallway that they're starting off on, again, it favors that Sigma. It favors that Mei, that Sojourn so well.
Yeah, and usually we see, the losing team at least gets to get back to point faster. Not the case this time. Hydra, well, I was about to say their blade gets completely canceled out by Hyper, just hitting that great group at the end there. Not going to happen, though. Ideal Warrior takes the Junker Queen ult, but responds with taking the Lucio off the other team, off of Carter's amazing ult. Relatively expensive fight there from the University of Delaware, but they actually used less ult than the University of Tennessee. Tennessee used 4, Delaware only used 3, and it just didn't matter. Somehow Delaware comes out with the win.
I didn't even hear Duxa get the Rampage and get it and have it have any use. I believe that was Hyper utilizing the B after the fact or something like that. So it's the fact that they have all these responses to all these really hard-hitting holds like Rampage, which you can't even heal through, and it doesn't even work. The synergy of this team is so beautiful, and it's even inspiring to watch. So they're once again setting up on this long hallway, and you can see how kind of I don't want to say afraid, but how passive Tennessee's playing for a second there, and then finally they all move as a unit and try to enter this space again, being dominated by Delaware, even so much so it gets met with a window and it forces the entirety of Tennessee to kind of just move around that window, and Delaware can't utilize and capitalize off of it. But we do have is that overclock, and what we have, even more importantly, is the second point of Flashpoint. Maps are going and coming so quickly now. This team fight will be won. Just to clean it up right here, right now. King Kong going down, no Suzu, no nothing, and that allows Duxa to be caught in a 1v4 as. Let's see the spawn here. Yeah. Looks like they're both gonna be. Looks like Tennessee does have a slight lead ahead, but TVD man is speeding over there as fast as possible with that Sojourn slide.
And honestly, I think this point leans the Sigma so hard here, especially with Flux, where it's going to funnel everyone right onto the point. That's going to be a 5-man Flux basically for free right there. Doesn't even matter. Still, University of Tennessee not able to even contest the point. And so University of Delaware fighting with objective this entire time. Idea Warrior trying to get on the back line to take out Kong. Just barely going to get forced out, but it seems like it's almost delaying the inevitable here as Blamethy falls, and finally there's Hyper taking down the backline. Syrup helps him out. No supports now for Duxta, and you're going back to spawn, my friend.
Yeah, and Duxa had you shout, and you had nothing else to even get out of there. And Hyper on the loose.
Tab? Has Idea Warrior even died yet, real quick?
I don't think so.
I don't know that he has. I don't think he has.
He hasn't died. I think the only person that died was Carter and like TBD man. That's it. I don't think the supports have died either.
What? That's just wild.
There's okay,
that might be the game-winning Flux right there. Oh, especially into the Blizzard. That's just mean.
And it catches Hydra's Dragon Blade. You go for the Rampage. Gets met with the beat drop, and then unable to contest point in time, allowing Delaware to take it 3-0 over University of Tennessee in a very convincing manner. It was just beautiful to watch how put together, how synergized, and how advanced this team does play when put in the right hands.
Yeah, I mean, this Blue Hen squad has been absolutely ridiculous so far the entire year. They're living up to their reputation on this one. Completely, like, they didn't really look like it was a struggle there. After that first Ilios and after the Kings Row defense, it was just all downhill from there. I don't know that they lost a single fight, actually, from when Kings Row attack started all the way until the end of the match. That's just an amazing performance.
Absolutely. And I mean, I feel like you wrapped up so beautifully from a defense of Kings Row. They were just playing so perfect. I don't think I've seen it. I don't think they really faltered much. You know, Carter and Ideal Warrior were so like this. They were so in tune to each other, and those combinations of Flux and Blizzard or Wall Off, and then, you know, just dogpile the whole team on one or two people was so beautiful. We will not be conducting an interview tonight, but don't go anywhere. We do have a whole lot more matches tonight to go through. So again, congratulations to the University of Tennessee. University of Delaware taking it 3-0 over University of Tennessee.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to EGFC. This is week 7, I believe, of our season 5 of Overwatch 2. I'm your friendly neighborhood caster, HD Philly B, and alongside me is the ever wonderful Lord Loki. Loki, my friend, how are you?
Feeling good, feeling excited. Montana State is the matchup we have today. They're going against University of Texas at Arlington, which is a consistently strong team in esports and consistently a strong team in the EGF as well. Montana State has a bit of a match at hand for them here.
Yeah, this is definitely a David versus Goliath kind of story. Montana is still winless on the season. However, they did have a bye the previous week, so I believe that they will hopefully come in with a strategy, right? We know that Andrew, the main tank of UTA, he's kind of a force to be reckoned with. So maybe Montana has some sort of game plan to hinder him, stun him, hack him, whatever it might be, to keep him from getting some value. So we'll see if Montana comes off of that bye with some game planning. On the other side, UTA, like you've mentioned, a super strong team. I think they've only lost maybe one game so far, and that was against the University of Delaware, one of our top contenders in the league. So, yeah, an absolutely uphill battle from the side of Montana, but I'm looking to see Arlington kind of try out some new things, new strategies here in this matchup.
If we go ahead and take a real quick look at the maps, we'll see the stage that we're playing on tonight. Going to be Ilios, Kings Row, Saravasa, Circuit Royale, and Coliseo. So if you like Brawl, do we have the maps for you? Every single one of these, I would expect to see probably default Sigma Brawl other than Circuit Royale, which is probably also going to be Sigma, this time though, with snipers.
I love that little extra flair that you have. So
Oh.
Loki, you don't think that the Roadhog just got his rework, and I'm sure you probably talked about this, analyzed this a little bit as well, but do you think we might see a Roadhog at all?
No, my man is a ladder warrior. I don't think the rework really does anything for him other than make him more annoying in ladder.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't help his team. He still punishes poor positioning, and those are the two things we're looking at a tank in, general like match play. Is we're looking at a tank that can help their team, and generally the positioning's pretty okay in these situations. So I would be quite surprised to see it. Either way, though, I do think that with the story of these two teams, that tank play is probably going to be a big part of it. Andrew has been wonderful on the season. The pace of the day has been so far set to being that really, really strong tank play deciding the day. That's what we saw last match. Not Andrew, though, coming out for University of Texas Arlington. We've got Paw stepping up at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like a whole slew of subs actually coming out from UTA. So maybe this is kind of like a little bit of a break for their team, as most of these guys are players, rather, are subs that we hadn't really seen before.
Yeah, typically the roster that we see is Andrew, Buckle, Tags, K, and then Shing or Jupiter. None of those people. The only person that we've seen before is Torthor. The rest of this player is a completely new roster. Meanwhile, Montana State, that's about what we expect to see from them. So it's going to be interesting to see how the newly revamped Mavericks, if you will, take on this program.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're heading downtown into Ruins, and this obviously we know is the sightline map of this control pool here. So it looks like Arlington is going with the Sojourn as their long-range hit scan, and the Widow on the side of Montana State trying to look to get some of those picks from some of those perches, and there they are now trying to get some advantage there, but the shield from the Sigma just comes out and just thwarts that attack. So looks like they're just scrambling back, trying to find some repositioning here, but they're reeling now. A lot of players low on the side of Montana State. It looks like they're just going to try to capitalize and move forward. Here is Arlington. They're going to look forward to find some picks now, just trying to find some maneuvering. We have Thorthor on the Genji. There's that slash right into the head of the Sneak on the Widow, and then Paul takes down Lei on the backside as well, and they're going to be pushing forward now, trying to find the rest of the team of Montana State to send them back to spawn, and they did have the capture percentage that whole entire time, so that is going to be accruing in their favor.
Yeah, that point control, absolutely massive for this. It cuts down the amount of fights you need to win, and University of Texas Arlington at this pace only needs to win about 1.5 more fights. They've already got that window charged up. Paul working very quickly to a Sigma ult. It is going to be Cactus Guy, though, who comes up with their own Sigma lift first, though. But before they can even get it off, Sneak's already dead in the back line.
Dude, they are having that man's number. I mean, I think Thor is just going to be looking at him every single time. And once again, the Graphitic Flux setting people up and slamming them back down. The tree also committed on the side of Montana State to just keep everybody up after that Graphitic Flux. But 3, 4, 5 check marks actually going to be coming out on the side of Arlington in this next engagement. But they're not even going to need it. They're just winning these fights in the neutral, just powering their way through these ultimates. Here's that Graphitic Flux from the side of Paul, slamming his counterpart into the ground. But a huge amount of healing coming through to keep his team alive. But Sapphire just taking Sneaks out once again. Sneaks needs to maintain some good positioning to keep himself alive. Here's DN on this little flank here, gets a double kill with the pulse rifle, sending 2 people back to the airship. I think the point will stay in the favor of Arlington after that engagement.
Yeah, I said they needed to win about 1.5. They've won 1.5. And that might just be it. This blade from Thor is going to be probably all she wrote. And just like that, Ruins is done and dusted. UTA a full force right there. No hesitation in any one of those plays. They won that first fight handily and immediately moved up to that choke and never really seemed to sway. The only thing that broke it a little bit, Cactus Eye did get the Sigma Flux first, was looking to see if they were going to find the first engagement there, try to assert that advantage. Did not happen, though. Sapphire set up a huge window, able to block it all out. Thor got into the back line. From there, Thor was just a menace, carving through the Montana State squishies, sending all of them back to spawn with no chance at reprisal for this squad. Now, onto this Lighthouse, looking to see a little bit different. Sneak here on the Pharah might be something interesting. Only one true hit scan on this UTA side means that they can probably find a good amount of damage.
Yeah, they're going with the pharmacy, and it doesn't even matter.
Well,
Thor just climbs the architecture, just nails him with a headshot with the shurikens, and there's 3 members down on the side of Montana State. There goes Cactus, and it'll be a quick point capture. The point didn't even unlock, rather, Loki, before they finished that fight, so now they'll capture it and start accruing some percentage, but Thor, doesn't matter if you're on the sky, in the ground, in a building, underground, whatever it might be, he's going to find you, and he's going to take you down.
Yeah, Thor is a menace right now. If you have less than 500 health, you need to be living in fear and they call Thor. I mean, they're just carving through, getting every single dash reset they could ever be looking for. This is a field day if you're a Genji player. Oh, paw.
Yeah, absolutely laying into folks with those gravitic spheres. Montana State does switch to the dive because, to get past the shield, sometimes just dive past it and everyone kind of coordinates with. But they need to coordinate. Winston requires a lot of resources in order for dives to be successful. So teams need to coordinate quite handily to get things done with that character. And let's see. No, once again, Sneak flies too close to the sun in Thor, and he takes him down. So once again, a disadvantage from Montana State as they try to recontest the point. Almost 50% of the control percentage on the clock now. They look at that. There you go. Finally, the Cactus Eye doing some work. I think that's why he switched to the Winston in the first place. But still, the percentage is going in the way of Arlington, and they're not giving it up just yet. Even with 4 members down, they think they can win this fight, as they know they're just outclassing the members of the side of Montana State. So Cactus Eye, he's looking, he's pouncing, and is he going to try to turn people to the point? No, but he gets a ton of damage laid into him. Only 27 health. And the bounce from Paul just takes the counterpart of his tank down. Okay, here comes Thor. He is back, and he's a menace. He's looking for more people in the sky. He slashes up and slashes down, and there goes Sneak. He has to back off in order to preserve his life.
Yeah, without that tank getting forced back, this is going to keep adding on to, the time Montana State has to keep just waiting for the perfect engagement here. They're really not able to find much, and for this one final fight, it's going to be a rush fight. Blade is out, but with Lei already down, and the deep line. That's
humanity!
That's just rude. That's just style points right there. Good God. And just like that, University of Texas at Arlington wins Ilios. Don't think they dropped a fight. I think you can count their deaths on one hand. No real even hesitation there. Good God.
My goodness, an absolute display of individual and team skill put on there from the side of UTA. Farah being in that tiny room is definitely not where she wants to be, and that deflect just the rocket right to the face, sending her straight back to spawn. So absolutely massive stuff. And then on the flip side, we didn't even see that, but a 2K coming out from the side of DNO5 with a huge overclock, just nailing shots left and right, thwarting people's advance to the point. So yeah, a little bit of a difference in the skill level there, but we'll see if Montana, they're going to go on to Kings Row now. So let's see if some of that defensive structure will help them in terms of, you know, this onslaught that a UTA is going to bring forth.
Yeah, I would love to give you the big insights of how UTA is winning this one, but it's a full court press, y'all. I mean, you can seriously count the deaths that UTA has across an entire map on one hand. Usually it's impressive you can count one player on one hand in deaths. This time, however, it's the entire UTA roster is showing up tonight and playing well. This is a UTA roster we haven't seen before in the EGF. It doesn't matter. I mean, we've known that UTA is stacked. We've known that they give a lot to, you know, their subs, to their academy teams. Keep training them up, keep working them in order to become, you know, the best players, be ready to move up the moment that someone on the main roster graduates and moves on from the program. I didn't know they were quite this good, though. I mean, this is some hell of a depth to have for your roster.
Yeah, and you know, Loki, I think that's something that you bring up that a lot of people don't think about is the turnover that these collegiate teams have. When we think about professional teams, they usually are signing contracts, they're there for a while, etc. But in collegiate esports, you're maybe there for 2 to 3 years, right, at max. So being able to have this academy team in the wings that will keep the prestige, the pedigree alive of this team is absolutely massive, right? Being able to have that program and that solidity is huge. And other teams like Montana State, they're trying to build that themselves. And sometimes you have to go up against these Goliath matchups to realize where your weaknesses are and how you're going to build on them moving forward. So, you know, we're kind of seeing the two differences in terms of the program depth here.
Yeah, and Montana State after this one next week has Delaware, which that's just unlucky. Looking next on this one though, Montana State, in order to bring back this one, is going to have this Kings Row battle already getting set. 30 seconds on the clock. Both tanks are on the Reinhardt. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but the year is not 2023. We've lied to you. It's 2016, ladies and gentlemen. Please ignore the lack of off-tank. The game seems to be glitched. We are running Reinhardt on Kings Row, Montana State. A little bit of an interesting Reinhardt comp. Don't know the last time I saw a Zen and a Moira ran with it. Meanwhile, University of Arlington, that's a pretty traditional Reinhardt comp to be running out here. You switch that Bastion for a Cassidy, and that's actually just standard EU Rein comp at that point.
Yeah, no, I like to see it. A nice little wide rotation coming out.
Oh,
but
the sneaky charge.
They don't see him.
The sneaky charge. Who are they going to grab? Oh, they grabbed this guy. Oh, no.
Oh, it was like a predator waiting in the wings, trying to find the perfect morsel, and Paul just pounces on him and takes him down. That's the main tank gone on the side of Montana State. Even with their long rotation, they're going to have to reset. They can't move anywhere without that Reinhardt. My goodness, what a charge coming out from Paul.
All right, here, looking to swing a little bit more. Already 50% on that charge. Completely outpacing even the supports on Montana State. Oh, the telly into the back line! Look out, E1! It's a bomb! Sit on through!
Oh my goodness, he does get punished for it, but I don't think it's going to matter with the amount of eliminations coming through. Oh, a sticky bomb. That was nicely threaded from the side of Thor. This man is absolutely crushing it on every DPS. All right, let's see if Colby just tank. It looks like, yeah, everyone's kind of just giving up that space now that their main tank is gone, and this will be the opportunity for Montana State to move on to the point and get some percentage in their favor. But we know that UTA always has a plan, so they knew this was coming in, and they're going to look to re-engage. A massive fire strike launching through. Oh, the charge comes through, but the ice block just enough to prevent it. The immortality field does have to be committed now, and there comes the rest of the dominoes just tumbling down on the side of Montana State as just everyone was just falling left and right. Paul just taking so much space and dealing so much damage.
I like Lay there trying to play a little bit of hide and seek, but Paul will find you one way or another and send you right back to spawn. Paul here now has the shatter, not going for a shatter from the top rope, mind you. They're actually playing this rather straight up, and meanwhile Cactus side looks like they are going to switch over to Orisa, trying to find a little bit more survivability there. Let E1 do some damage in the back line and Lay kind of fend for themselves, most likely.
All right, yeah, they took a ton of damage. We're able to heal that up, and here comes the window with the Fire Strike combo, getting Cactus so low, and there's Cactus down. They have a plan, Arlington. They know who exactly to go for, and they know exactly who to go and take down. So everyone falling left and right. It looks like a little bit of a ring around the rosy. They're walled off, but it doesn't even matter as he had the shatter in the wing, finds 3, and the collapse is absolutely perfection from the side of Arlington, sending Montana back to spawn with only a minute 15 back on the clock.
Yeah, that shatter is just for style at that point. I don't think you needed it to close that fight out. I'm surprised they didn't go for the 5-man shatter once the window got popped out. You can see him now trying to give Sapphire a little bit of extra health, or a little bit of extra on that ult charge. Now Thortor though, and Bison. Oh no, great trance.
He has to use it. He has to commit to stay alive, and this might be the final fight territory. The Soundberry committed on the side of Colby as well to keep his team up. And here comes Snowball, just trying to freeze everybody up, and they do actually. Will this be the point capture for the side of Montana State on the back of the Blizzard? It looks like it. Points are start to accrue on the capture point as 3 members are on it. Not everybody died on the side of Arlington, though. Then will they decide to recommit? Does it look like it? This will be a point cap for Montana State.
And 3 minutes now on the clock for this Montana State squad. I think UTA might have gotten a little bit lost in the sauce right there, a little bit overconfident. And so now they have to deal with this second point push, which can sometimes get a little bit out of hand.
For sure. I mean, this still is a collegiate Overwatch team. As much as you might think you have the advantage, you can't make those minor mistakes. You still have to play at the top of your game. Otherwise, you know, the point will go in the other team's favor, and you'll have to then keep playing, right? So if they're trying to finish this one quickly and go home so they can study or do whatever they need to do, then they need to be focused all the way through at every point, at every second of the match. A long rotation coming here from Montana State. They need to get this point. A window popped out from the side of Arlington. A fire strike through, but it hits the cart, unfortunately, so doesn't get any damage there. Monarch, though, he's sneaking, he's looking, he has the Death Blossom in the wings. Oh, but he gets found out and taken extremely low. The Life Weaver has to bring him back up. Will he decide to use one of his cooldowns to get into the fray? No, he just jumps right on in, and he's looking to, with those Hellfire shotguns, to lay in some damage. A coordinated retreat from the side of Arlington, but the Terror Surge comes through and slams down in the combination with the Death Blossom, dealing massive damage and taking out both of the DPS from the side of Arlington. This will be some huge cart push for Montana State.
Montana State finds the fight win off of a great Monarch Death Blossom. Pod did not hit the shatter. No one else on the team really had it all up ready to go to counter out the aggression. And so Montana State keeps on rolling just that little bit more. You're going to have to win one more fight to cap. Meanwhile, UTA probably needs about 2 more in order to get this one. Sneak 3 set up with the little tricky mine, but I don't know that anyone on UTA actually can play high ground and get to it. Tire out now is just going to drop down right on top. Catches 2!
Both the supports gone. That's going to be more space created from the side of Sneak. Yeah, that trap mine combo was there to protect himself when he laid down the tire, and now they're just laying in the damage, just creating that more space. And yep, they're just going to put themselves in the drink because the fight is over now. And it looks like Montana State will be able to capture point 2 and complete the street space. Oh, a nice pin from the side of Paul, but he takes himself down with it. So just trying to halt the advance a little bit more, but at that point it doesn't matter as the point 2 was capped. All right, so it looks like Montana State now, they're going to bring all 5 members. They both support ultimates, which is big, but they're going to need to use them wisely in order to get this point to the finish. We know Kings Row, how hectic that can be with the spawn door so close for the defenders. So we have 4 ultimates on the side of UTA. A couple of the artillery strike could be very useful, and the grenades just raining from above. But here's Thor. He does take out Sneak, and that will be an advantage for the side of Arlington. This will be their go button to kind of just thwart the rest of this advance, and there goes Cactus. See you later. Oh, the charge coming in, and they're going to find the Kiriko. Does she have the teleport? She does not, and a punch to the face from Sphere sends her back to spawn. It's a good fight win from the side of Arlington. Not even have to use an ultimate. They just outskill them in the neutral.
Yeah, but these ultimates, they've got 5 of them at this point, and We were wondering when the top rope shot was coming in. Looks like it's going to be right here. Do they know? Do they know? I don't think they know. Well, now they definitely know, unless they don't.
No.
Okay.
Oh. Oh, he looked for the right target and just found the Kiriko, who was able to be saved from the Life Weather, who had the bird's eye view, but it doesn't even matter as the damage was done, and the collapse from the side of Arlington has just been so massive. Anytime someone commits an ability, an ultimate, whatever it is, everyone just follows through on that target. So their communications are crisp and clean, but Loki, they spent 3 ultimates to do it.
Yeah, a lot on the table. Still one more fight left to win to close this one out. Only 2 ultimates on the table. It's going to give them at a disadvantage here. And we saw how big Monarch and Sneak 3's ultimates can be earlier. Both of these DPS looking to see if they can't get the pick on one of the other DPS early here. Give the team the advantage for this final fight. And there's the ult that kicks it all off.
The artillery strike comes flying in. Will it find some value in the backline? Here it goes, laid down. No, but everyone's able to skirt themselves and find some cover. But Lay is just caught out just enough, and a headshot from the high ground from Thor just laying into him. And he does find the Life Leader as well. And there's the turrets laying in the slow. But the Terror Surge Death Blossom combo, the tried and true strategy from Montana State, does that get him in the pit? No, it does not. Okay, Sapphire does find 2 for his troubles, trying to keep his team in it, both with the healing and the damage. Done. Overtime ticks away, and Arlington is able to thwart the advance.
Yeah, that one taking a little bit more than we expected it to, I feel like, after that first point. You see it looking incredibly strong at the first point, starting to go for a little bit of style there at the end, and then gets too lost in the sauce and doesn't really regain their footing all the way until halfway through point 3, which is just, I mean, that's honestly really surprising. Montana State looking very clean there through point 2. I like that, even with all of the, fun stuff UT is going for, Montana State staying focused, staying level, staying even, finding the solution, rolling it on 3. Sneak 3 does, both of the DPS actually do insane thing with their ultimates to win consistent back-to-back fights. This starts giving them that forward momentum. It's absolutely wonderful. And now we get a little bit of a dance party inside of Blue Team spawn.
I mean, they all have the La Seraphim, dance emote and whatever. So, and all the skins to boot. So that's good to see the coordination on the team on all levels. But yeah, like you were mentioning, Loki, the win condition for the side of Montana State was to combo the Death Blossom with the Terror Surge, or just to do the Junkrat Tire. We've seen how impactful that ultimate can be. So they did have their win condition, and it did get them almost to the end of the map. But with Kings Row, you especially against a team like Arlington, you want to finish it because you want to bring it into extra innings because this one is going to go the distance. So with that being said, Paul is on the Sigma now instead of the Reinhardt. So let's see how that tactical change works to their advantage. There's the wall off from the back line. There's the Rock 2 from downtown hitting the Kiriko, but the Kiriko is able to use the Suzu to keep themselves alive for just a moment. But no, Paul is accurate, honed in with those hyperspheres, and they just lay into the rest of the team. And everyone's scattered now on the side of Montana State, just all to the winds, going left, right, center, and that'll be a quick point cap for the side of Arlington.
Yeah, Arlington had their fun on defense. Now they are back on default on the meta comp. The fun time is over. It's time to get to work, and getting to work means shutting it down the DPS and supports of Montana State here. Pa doing such a good job hitting that rock, forces out the Suzu in a lot earlier than I think Montana State was looking to use it. That just opens up Lay in the backline, and with how stacked this Montana State comp is, there really isn't any tele targets over on the wings for Lay to get away. The moment they use Suzu, that's all of their defensive abilities. There's nothing left on the table. Looks like now they're trying to get a little bit more spread out with Sneak 3 on this Ashe, but it's going to be interesting to see how that works out here.
For sure, and I think something that's that coordination once again. Once you know a cooldown is off, you target that person, you target them hard. So here goes Paul laying in with the accretion right to the Bastion, and he's just taking so much space. Does he decide to use the Gravitic Flux? No, he just doesn't even need it. He just knows the team will collapse upon them. And once again, the communication we were talking about, Loki, is just like, all right, this person, they're dead. All right, this person, all right, the next one. And they're just following like dominoes out here in the streets phase on Kings Row. That should be the second point cap. There's that golden box of victory that Arlington Arlington is looking to push the cart to. This Ashe is still alive, playing around some health packs. A downtown rock coming out from Paul just to try to, create a little bit more space, just saying, hey, get out of here. Even if don't get eliminated, we don't want you in the front line. It looks like they're trying to recontest now is Montana State. A Blizzard comes out from DN just to create that space to get the point over the finish line so they can get more time on the clock. Here's that Graphitic Flux as they retreated, and the slam down a triple kill from the side of UTA. A massive ultimate from Paul, and he gets the 4K to boot. He's going to be looking at that high rate reel for the rest of the evening. Well done from him, and more cart push coming through from Arlington.
Yeah, and you notice Montana State changed off the Kiriko. They don't have a Baptiste, and that means that there's no defensive abilities that can really counter out an ultimate like Sigma Lift here on this side of Montana State. And so once it hits and catches 3, especially at somewhat lower health, there's nothing that anyone can do about it. And now, oh no, Cactus Eye. That was a little bit too aggressive, and I think it's going to find him out here as it's just up to the one Lifeweaver on point. Now it's up to the no one on point as UTA just rolls in to that golden box of victory.
My goodness, Loki. Arlington is separate, cutting them through like scissors, right? They're just they create space so effectively that Montana just scatters, and they all scatter in different directions. And when you do that, you leave people vulnerable. And at that point, it was Cactus Eye. Here's that triple kill, massive boom, all slammed down, nothing that they could do. And then he finds it, a rock hit as well, and a nice hypersphere to the face. So, but like I was mentioning, they just split them so effectively. And when you do that, you create those individual matchups. And because they're so coordinated on the side of UTA, once they find those standalone champions on the other side, they just take them down so easily, and then they're able to create so much space. So Montana, I think, needs to coordinate effectively when they try to retreat so that they're not scattered in those instances.
Yeah. Normally, this would be the time we go to a quick break. Not doing that this time, though. We're just going to keep it nice and rolling, keep the momentum high, keep the energy amped for this battle. UTA looking incredibly clean right now, as you've said, just playing, firing on all cylinders, even with the second roster up. So no reason to even worry about it. Montana State looking like they're starting to figure things out, but then the defense there looked like maybe not so much. Montana State can make adjustments, but so can UTA, and it looks like the adjustments to the adjustments have been made, if you will. Last point on the docket is going to be that Saravasa, or next map on the docket is going to be that Saravasa. And it's probably going to be pretty similar in terms of brawl, pretty similar in terms of default meta, pretty similar in terms of comp here. I would love to see Circuit Royale, though. I think that's be a very, very exciting map to see here, especially with how the DPS on both teams are playing.
Yeah, for sure. Sneak was on the Widow on Ruins and Ilios, so definitely would like to see them try to do some long-range hit scan once again. Saravasa, man, I want to see Reinhardt. I want to see the Roadhog. Like I want to see something else besides this Sigma. So maybe Arlington is feeling themselves just a little bit that they might switch off of it and go with something else. So we'll see. I do love these Flashpoint maps just because it's so brawly. There's so many different conflicts that happen throughout the map as people are moving to and fro from the different sections. So I would love to see some of these different tanks that kind of just get in your face and cause some havoc and some mayhem. So not that I don't love the Scientist. He's great. He's very methodical and melodic. He just likes to play his pace. But I want UTA to push the buttons of Montana and really get in them.
Yeah, sadly I think you're probably mostly gonna get. Oh, actually, never mind. On Saravasa, we normally see Junker Queen playing out here, and so I would be really unsurprised to see that, especially because Junker Queen is one of those higher paced tanks, and Flashpoint is that higher paced map type. We typically see something along those lines. They're still super brawly, so there's no reason to really play like a diva into it, if you will. But
sure,
we typically see a lot of the Orisa. We typically see a lot of the Junker Queen. Junker Queen, the most popular one, I would probably call. The Sigma comp minus the Sigma plus the JQ is usually what's default here. And that is relatively what Montana State's bringing out to the table. Meanwhile, on the other side, University of Arlington, I don't know that they know that this map has ceilings pretty much everywhere because they're on the farm to start us out. Farm Mercy, specifically.
For sure, and you bring a good point. There are some substitutions coming through, so it looks like DN is out for right shot, and the other support, I can't remember their name right now, but Bear is now in on the Mercy, so they are going to play a little bit of pharmacy going through here. So you're right, a lot of the points on this map do have a ceiling, so it's going to be different, especially in this palace area that we are going to now as the first point on Flash. So, but like they get onto this little area here, they are rocket boosted, so let's see if they can thwart the advance of Montana State, as they did get there first. So lay a ton of rockets just laying into the GQ. She has nothing that she can prevent to stop them, so she just has to tank the damage as best she can, and hopefully the healers have her back. Ewan does switch off to the Lucio. That's something I have noticed, that the Lucio has not come out from Montana State at all whatsoever. A huge amount of rockets. Can they capitalize? A nice boost into the backline. The Kiriko does save the Junkrat just in the nick of time, but he is not out of the sights just yet. The rocket laid into Monarch, and he is sent back to spawn, but a trade is there out as Ride Shot was found on the back end as well. Now another one in the sights does Thor have, and it is the Lifeweaver at this point. Can they get him? They're finding the back line here, and yes, Paul does pounce this time and slams into Ewan, sending him back as well. The capture point, though, has been in the favor of Montana State at this time, but it looks like they lost the first fight, and the percentage will accrue now for Arlington.
That's got to be so frustrating for Thor. They hit the directs, they hit them all with the splash damage, they get everyone right to 1 health. And that's right when they can't find the final shot to end it there. Either a defensive ability or a support ability comes through to save them out, or movement ability is timed just perfectly, or they just can't find the shot. That's one of the most frustrating positions I think you can be in as a DPS, when you're getting people down to 1 health and just can't find the kill confirm. Usually that's something that we see the hit scan provide a lot of value with, but Right Shot got taken out of the fight there right at the beginning, so they weren't able to provide those kill confirms, and as a result, UTA struggling much more. Oh, well, that's just brutal.
And it had to be done because Sneak turned onto the Widow and got a kill onto Bear, so the Far was just left out on her lonesome, and so she was like, okay, screw it, I'm going in, laying down the Justice, and Justice she did. So a huge team fight win from the side of Thor without the support, but Sneak with a double headshot onto the back line of Arlington. So that's something they're going to have to be aware of now that they made this switch. So the one thing, my favorite thing about Overwatch is the fact that you can switch characters on the fly to adjust to what the other team is doing. So a Diva switch coming out for Montana and the Widow as well. Hopefully they may have a better advantage moving into the next point here.
Sadly for Montana, it is going to be UTA. He manages to get here first. They have control over the point, and this one doesn't have any sort of ceiling or way to contain Thor. The most it's going to do is really keep him in that central plaza. There's less cover, but if they're just playing on the other side of the arches, then that really doesn't come into play, and Lei finds that out very quickly.
Ouch, rockets to the face definitely hurt. And there's a big support ultimate that's not on the board. The Suzu, I believe, is committed on the side of Sapphire just to get that little extra speed boost to just chase people down and get those extra staggers online. The capture, though, has not come through yet from Arlington, and there it is. Okay, and once again, on Flashpoint, the percent accrues quite quickly, so every fight lost is a major disadvantage for your side. We have a couple ultimates on the side of Montana State. The Infrasight does come out from Sneak, though, so they can make their approach a little bit more calculated. But let's see, because Bear does have the Valkyrie intact, so that could be a huge support ultimate to keep everybody alive in this engagement. Let's see now, he does find a sneaky flank, trying to find Bear, but on the other side, Ride says no. There goes your soldier with a nice headshot, and Thor finding Lei once again with those rockets. Okay, he's getting very close now to that rocket barrage. He does have it. Well, does he let it fly? No, he doesn't feel that he needs it for this one, so he just lays in the direct hits, which is an absolutely crucial skill mechanic for the side of this Far Mercy combination. All right, that's another attempt thwarted from Arlington.
Yeah, and now all of the ults you could ever want coming online for UTA. They're using about one a fight at this point, staying pretty economical. Sneak not feeling comfortable on the Widow anymore, has to change to Cassie, and I think that's going to mean we're not going to see a good push or a good touch here coming through on Montana State. Even if they do, they're going to be down in DPS. Sure enough, get stuffed out by Paw before they can even think about it. One more point on the docket. Montana State, one last chance to figure out how to deal with this, and at the moment, it's not looking too terribly likely.
it's a carousel over here for the DPS line of Montana. They're just trying to find something that will handle this pharmacy. It's just doing too much damage. These direct hits coming out from Thor are just too much, and they can't be healed that quickly from the side of Ewan and Lei. So it's just every damage tick there is going to be one that sustains, and there they find the Cassidy so quickly, just rains from above and sends it back to spawn. Okay, a disadvantage now for Montana, but they are on the point first, and Paul just goes diving in, gets a nice slam and double punch. He does have his escape ability. It is ultimate now, and the tree just taken down so quickly. I've never even seen a tree taken down that fast. Here comes the Paul, though. He does have a bunch of shield from using his ability. He does get the power block charged up nicely, and the barrage is online, and he lets it fly. Just easily finds Ewan. Can't find anything else, but does stay alive through it. There's still a few members alive on the side of Montana State, but not for long, as they are hunting. Arlington is, and there's just the D.Va trying to stay alive using the Matrix, flying around. There's the pilot, punch to the face once again, and the flip will come through for Arlington.
Yeah, Montana State did a really good job there, making sure to play on the point, keep their spacing correct, taking control of that point through all those fights. Still, though, not able to find the victory on the other side of that tunnel. Going to be falling to, going to be losing the fight, so only small victories at the moment for Montana State. 30% on the clock. Going to be looking for more here on this fight. They've got a D.Va bomb in their back pocket, and they're going to need to use it, as depending on how long this fight takes, it might be their last.
And she lets it fly. The nuke comes in, doesn't find anybody. A perfectly scattered coordination from the side of Arlington. Let's see how they decide to re-engage now, as the space was created from that ultimate. Paul, he is on his lonesome. He does get slept, but knocked out of it quite quickly. And with that, he just rocket punches Lei and finds two, actually, with that. And then the rest of the dominoes go falling afterwards. Another fight attempt lost from the side of Montana State, even with that good engagement with the D.Va bomb. But let's see. I think that will be the point and the game and the map for Arlington.
Yeah, 10% left. D.Va no mag. Nope. Yeah, that's gonna do it, folks. 3, 2, 1. UTA finds the perfect series against Montana State University. 3-0 in a very convincing last map to cap it all off. Well done, University of Texas at Arlington, to find yet another victory on the season.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, Loki, that's going to be huge, as we're only coming into the final couple of weeks. Every win matters in terms of seeding for the tournament. So, even the games that you're expected to win, you better win them. And so Arlington did that in a nice and true fashion, a nice, clean, easy win. There are some good points for Montana State to take away from it with their DPS line, a couple good support ultimates in there as well. I think they just need to work on their coordination, right? How are they taking some of these fights? Some of the rotations are a little bit telegraphed, so they need to work on that as well. How they disengage, right, in terms of when some ultimates come in. So there are a couple of points that they are going to want to work on moving forward, but at least they know that there are those things that they can work on, right? If they just didn't know where to even start, that would be bad. But the fact that they do have some of those areas of improvement, that's a really good shining point for this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Sadly, we're not going to have an interview with the winning team after that one. So with that, that's going to be the UTA Montana match. But don't worry, if you want more Overwatch action, we've got another match going on the second stream. That's EGF Overwatch for you. Or if you want more Overwatch later, we've got Hawaii versus RIT. That game's at 10:30 EST. Be back here at that time for more Overwatch action.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm HD Philly B, and alongside with me, as always, is the ever wonderful Loki, and we have a doozy of a matchup here for you tonight, folks. We have the University of Hawaii versus RIT. Both of these teams are trying to break into the upper echelon of the bracket here in the EGF Season 5 for Overwatch 2, so this one could go the distance.
Yeah, we've seen both of these teams perform pretty well throughout the entire season. Neither of them have really broken through that upper echelon of teams yet, like those Delawares, those Auburns, still kind of struggling along that line, but they're definitely on the upper side. So if they're trying to set themselves apart for those bracket spots in those playoffs spring, this is a really good match to it. To one, give that confidence boost for the spring semester, and then two, have that head-to-head matchup win when those seeding finally come back at the end of, when it's all said and done.
Absolutely. So last week Hawaii played UConn, and that went the distance. That was a 3-2 match. It went the way of UConn in that, but both teams, it could have just one minute change, one ability or one movement would won each team the map, right? On the other side, RIT, they got 3-0'd last week by William and Mary, so they're going to be looking to right the ship a little bit coming into this one. So both teams, they were on the back foot last week, and this week they're looking to right themselves. So they both have a lot of things on the line here. So that's what I'm saying. This is going to be a doozy, right? It's going to be a juggernaut. People, they're punching back and forth, not giving up an inch in either of these maps. So we're going to go to our little map screen here, rather. So we're going to go to Ilios, which is our control map. Love to see it. Then we have Kings Row, our favorite map, and then Saravasa, and then hopefully, Loki, we get to see Circuit Royale.
Yeah, Brawl's been the patch of the day, and it's also been the map pool of the day. Pretty much every single one of these maps we've been seeing almost exclusively Brawl, almost exclusively Sigma as well. Circuit Royale won't change the Sigma note, but it'll at least change our DPS and support lines. We'll be able to see a little bit more sniping there. We'll be able to see a little bit more of those off-angle play. Maybe some Olari, maybe some, Zenyatta if people want to be spicy about it. But for right now, we're just going to be going down on Ilios, and I would expect probably default comps there. University of Hawaii is one of those more meta-focused teams especially, so I would not be surprised at all if we just saw them stick to that. Math Dealer, however, is probably the standout player on University of Hawaii. That is going to be their tank player. They've been doing insane things throughout the season. Meanwhile, RIT, they've been known to be a little bit more funky with their play, and looks like they might be starting off with that exact note. We haven't seen a Roadhog all day, haven't seen any Roadhog in EGF since the rework, and this might be the first time we get to see something. Seb, are they actually going to roll out on it? There's no way, right? And there isn't any way. RIT is going to end up playing default here just alongside University of Hawaii. I think the only difference is going to be Peever is going to be staying on that sim. Meanwhile, River God rolling out on the Olari. River God has been putting in work on the Olari this year, so not surprised at all that University of Hawaii is bending the comp just that tiny little bit to get River God in instead. But look at my falls before we even really get started.
And I've been saying this every week, Seb is the one to look out for. He is the main tank player for this squad. He rotates through the Reinhardt, the Sigma, everything to facilitate his team onward to victory. So you're going to be looking to, everything is going to flow through him. He's the quarterback, so to speak, of this composition. So a lot of damage coming in with those hyperspheres, a nice rhythm that the Sigma likes to have, just like 1-2 shot, 1-2 shot. So he's just laying in a ton of damage, putting that shield to great effect, but a window comes out early from the side of Hawaii to try to do something with it, but it's blocked off quite easily from the side of Foliage with that wall. Something we were talking about last week is how these players use the abilities to thwart the ultimates coming out from the other side.
Yeah, great use there. Now Math Dealer in a little bit of danger with that rock coming out. Not going to be able to catch them. And as we see this fight go on longer and longer here, the story of the game might be the ultimates getting charged up for Seb. All the way up now, window as well, ready to go. But with Peever down, going to be interesting to see if they respond with resources, and they do.
A huge gravitic flux coming through from the side of RIT. They slam people up, but not enough to get any eliminations off the back of it. They do retreat back to the point as the onslaught, the wave of the Rainbow Warriors comes through. A massive accretion from the side of Map Dealer, sniping the backline, and both supports are down. And here comes Ikami just laying in the overclock, and the point flip will come through for Hawaii.
Akamai there doing a really good job. I like them investing that cleanup ult at the end there. That fight was clearly going on a really long time. RIT wanted to extend it as much as possible. Akamai realizes this, throws in the overclock, ends that fight right exactly where it stands. Now, RIT invested quite a bit into that fight, didn't really get much out of it. It's going to be Hawaii's chance now to come in with the ultimate on their side.
A telegraphed approach, though, so they go walk right into that gravitic flux, and they combo into the Sunstrike, and just a massive explosion just cascades through the entire team, and they're all sent back to spawn. A deadly stagger there onto Liam. Oof. More percent will accrue for the side of Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we see River God here on the Alari. It's not just the extra sustain, it's not just the extra damage, it's how well they work with Math Dealer. Week in, week out, they've been running that combo. No team has really shown a great response to it yet. The only thing you can really do is, you know, throw that Lucio beat out, but there's so much other dangers on the side of Hawaii that you can't trust it.
Is it winter yet? Because I'm seeing snow all over the map, and 2 blizzards coming through from both teams. Who will come out on top? It looks like Hawaii will get the sustain here on the point as headshots come flying through from all of their members. So ultimates used on both sides, and still the point percentage accrues. Akami very low now, has to go back to the pylon, and has that overclock in the wings, and they retreat now to the point to try to sustain a little bit longer and allow some of the space to come through for RIT. Let's see how they approach this. No ultimates yet in the bank, so they're going to have to be careful. Here comes the window from the side of Banana on the University of Hawaii, so they lay down in the lamp as well to keep Akami alive. He's still in the line from the pylon. Okay, here comes the gravitic flux from the side of Seb, bringing people up, and he does find the rock coming from above and slams it right into Banana, so they are onto the point now, but 99% for the side of Hawaii. If they win this fight, they will win the map, so they're doing everything they can, investing every resource they can to sustain it, but it's just not enough. The overwhelming tidal wave of RIT is able to reclaim the point in their favor.
Yeah, I don't think that's what Hawaii was looking for there. Akamai not able to find anything on the overclock positioning, tied down due to the usage of the window, and then capitalize that off with Stab able to roll through, make their presence known, completely split up Hawaii. It means that Akamai was never able to set up with that overclock. As a result, Hawaii here down a good bit in ult economy. RIT ready to rotate it through. They only need to win one more fight to decide it. Whoever wins this fight's coming away with the map.
The grasp came through to try to get the captive sun, but it looks like it just went a little bit awry. I don't think anybody was hit by it. The overclock comes through from Peeper, trying to find anybody. Another rock shot into the sky, just barely misses. A whole slew of ultimates committed here from the side of RIT. They know if they can get some eliminations, they will keep the point. Here comes the hyperspheres coming through. They do take the pylon down. It's a 50-second cooldown on the clock now. They have to get their rest of the backline here as Seb takes an awkward flank to try to get that done, but he does put the shield now to prevent. Snowball comes flying through from the side of Foliage to lock everybody in place. They do catch Map Dealer, and Map Dealer gets taken down with a nice headshot. Okay, Peeper, he's on fire now, laying in those railgun blasters to everybody in their sights. But they point flip does come through from the side of Hawaii as looks like the RIT just went reeling and scattered themselves to the winds, but now they're trying to recontest, but it's going to be difficult to try to capture the point. Rescue Toast trying to salvage the situation, does find an elimination, and the disengage was calculated from the side of RIT as they are able to take the members down of Hawaii one by one, and they're able to flip the point in their favor, and the overtime tick goes down, and there's ruins for the side of RIT.
Quite an amazing stall there at the end, plays the perfect timing, plays their life, and when they notice Akamai returning, great ult tracking on the side of RIT to recognize, hey, Akamai's got an overclock in their back pocket. If they use that, this is going to be brutal in this mid-fight, chaotic scenario. No one's able to cover each other. We already had Seb, get separated from the team, and we lost our backline because of it. We've got to take them out immediately before anything goes wrong. Does a great job of that there. Credit to Rescue Toast. I imagine they're the ones ult tracking for RIT here on the main support. Credit to them for recognizing that opportunity, calling it out, making sure to take down what's needed. Here, though, rolling into this lighthouse, Seb's actually out on the Reinhardt with the sim. Meanwhile, Hawaii is out on the Ramatra as the sim. Both teams seem to have the same plan with very slightly different executions.
Oh, this is huge, Loki, because Seb is a Reinhardt main through and through. He's got the lion heart beating in his chest. He wants this so badly, and so he's going to be swinging through, protecting his team with that shield. Oh, a massive fire striking everybody low. Huge resources need to be committed now as the lamp comes through to protect the rest of the team as they're bunkered down in the point. They have to get their way through all of these turrets now that were laid down by the side of Akame, but they were all taken down as Seb comes charging through, taking down Matt Dealer. They're beaming and buzzing is Peeber, and he's just laying into everybody. That'll be a nice flip and a nice capture for the side of RIT.
Yeah, I like the idea there from Hawaii. I just don't know that they ever got the full setup. Playing on that point's really, really strong when you're something like a brawl. The issue is Hawaii's playing a little bit tiny bit slower of a comp. RIT does a good job of realizing that fact and just sends it on through, takes the damage, fighting and aggressive. Now the teleport's back on the point. Both teams even in this engagement.
Oh my gosh, how do you even keep track of who's going where as they teleport? Oh, the hammer down comes through, gets 4 of them, it looks like, but the turrets are just too strong as they were laid in the back of the point. The Blazer comes through, locking down 4 members, and Rescue Toast just headshotting left and right, keeping everybody up as well. Just the 2 supports now on the side of RIT trying to reclaim or keep the point in their favor. Just a May now to contest with it. She can be pesky with all those cooldowns. She still has the ice block online to recontest and stay in. Here comes turrets flying in, and Blizzard on the side of Say to keep the point, but they haven't flipped it just yet. RIT still maintaining capture percentage. The Soundberry committed by Rescue Toast to keep everybody up, and Banana on the side to match it as well. A huge ram from the side of Sab, just sending Matt Dealer off, reeling and careening off into the abyss, into the drink, and he goes laying now that there's no tank, swinging and charging, just getting another pin there. Oh my gosh, this guy is on fire, just absolutely destroying everybody on the side of the University of Hawaii.
So usually it's your own team asking you to unbind shift. Seb's got the enemy team asking him to unbind shift there. As 2 kills coming off the charge in 1 fight. Now Hawaii, with 1 fight left to go, has decided to abandon the comp they were on. That means we're not going to see an annihilation field or anything like it for this final fight. That might have been the game-winning. Oh, Acolyte here has a pick. That might be enough to keep it going for a little bit longer, but Foliage does some work on the angles to even this right back up, and Math Dealer is in a car wash right now.
Oh, that was some danger zone. Sigma, one of the slower tanks in the league, and he just got bullied off the point. Nobody could contest in time, and RIT wins Lighthouse and wins the first point.
And I'm not going to lie, we were talking about it a little bit before the game started. This is not really what we expected to see here. If we just look back on the previous team history, RIT got 3-0'd by William and Mary coming into this one. Meanwhile, Hawaii, a 3-1, which doesn't sound that much different, but the game was played incredibly close throughout that 3-1. So coming into this, we were expecting, hey, with the record, with the matchups against William and Mary, who's a really consistent team, this one's probably going to be Hawaii pretty convincingly. Probably going to be Hawaii. So far, though, RIT has taken that narrative and thrown it out the freaking window. No chance you can have that in the back of your mind now. If you are a Hawaii fan, though, I will say, don't worry. Hawaii is known for taking these, games a bit longer. They like these multi-map series. Hawaii traditionally isn't, just a big show up 3-0, take it home kind of team. Even when they're playing extraordinarily strong, top of the leaderboard, top of everything, they do tend to still take it to more maps on. They like to savor their win, if you will. So if you are a Rainbow Warrior, don't be too scared just yet, but might want to be a little bit more on the edge of your seat than you were before.
Yeah, absolutely. The University of Hawaii is usually in it for the long haul. They do this battle of endurance, right? They wear you down, and then in that final map, they strike, right? They've been testing themselves out the entire way. RIT, on the other hand, they're going to be working through Seb. This guy is a stud on the tank, and like you were mentioning at the top of the program, Loki, we're going to be brawling it out on these maps. So RIT getting a little bit of fortune in the roll of the dice in terms of the map pool for this week. And so if they can play Reinhardt, which I think they might do on King's Row, I'm looking for RIT to be able to take it to him, because that Seb on that Reinhardt just looks so clean. Just managing those cooldowns, managing those shifts like you were mentioning, getting people off the map, pinning people, supports, and getting a Lucio of all things, just who's jumping around constantly. So yeah, absolutely massive stuff coming out from the side of him. And then the support line, I can't stress this enough, how much they facilitate him being able to just swing away, just lower the shield, and being able to do so much damage. So yeah, this is going to be a massive sort of play from him. University White has to recognize this, though. They need to say, okay, Seb is the focus point. We need to calculate a way to get him down, and then everyone else will just go crumbling there afterwards. So I think hopefully in this mid map kind of break, they're going to figure out how to kind of thwart him moving forward.
I think the way that you do that is you cut the legs out from under him. I don't think you can go through Seb right now. Seb is playing really, really strong. They're playing their damage really well. They're putting out a ton of aggression. I think you've got to go for the support line, especially playing a hero like Ryan, as resource heavy as he is, as resource demanding as he is. If you can cut off on the off angles, take that support line down, cut off his healing, he doesn't have anything after that. Especially with the aggression that Seb likes to play on, he's going to require constant upkeep, constant resources, constant investment from his team. So if you can take out the Baptiste here, which Baptiste is a pretty, rectangle hitbox immobile target, then it might open up everything else. Granted, it is Liam on that Baptiste, and Liam is not easily killable. They position around the fact that they know how high value of a target they are. They really value their life. University of Hawaii here looks like they're recognizing that fact. Math Dealer faking me out once more. They're actually going to be on that Sigma. University of Hawaii isn't playing anything that can really act on the flank, so it looks like they are just trying to out-damage the heals and damage mitigation that RIT is bringing to the table.
And that's wild. I actually did kind of like the Winston. Oh, there it is, though. The Bastion coming through. Reinhardt can't really stand up to the Bastion, both in the lore and in the game itself. So looks like a massive push coming out from the side of Hawaii, and they're able to get some percentage on the point there. But I kind of did like the Winston. I kind of wanted that dive to come through, but this works just as well. Just overpower the heals, as you were mentioning, and just take the Reinhardt down, shield and all. So a quick point capture coming out from the side of University of Hawaii. Let's see how they steamroll this into Streets phase. We know that on King's Row sometimes it can get pretty snowbally, so we'll see if they're able to kind of add that momentum moving forward. All right, both walls come out from the maze now, so that cooldown is out. But so the Bastions are going to be moving forward, looking for a little bit more pace and a gusto as they're trying to find some damage moving forward. Say with a nice headshot, getting dinked out there. A Gravitic Flux coming through from the side of map. They're capturing 4, it looks like, and just slamming them down a window. Is that even necessary? Probably not, but for good measure, just thwarting everybody, annihilating the team on the side of RIT. A massive team kill coming through.
But I wish I could take back and put in slow motion for you there. Say and Math Dealer utterly connecting. If you saw, right before the flex came out, Say lifted the wall. What that did is it collected all of RIT right at the May wall. It drew them in like moths to a flame in order to be like, hey, you have to break this wall in order to get past us. And if you're playing Rhine, you want to get past us. Once everyone is drawn in, Math Dealer hits Q, 4 influxed, no chance to spread out. You know you're grabbing everybody there.
Artillery! Is it gonna get anybody? Boom, 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 boom. Massive damage coming down, but it is quickly healed up, and the sound barrier has to be committed from Rescue Toast, and that's the go button. Walled off is the escape from the side of Hawaii. Can they find anything? They have to commit the sound barrier. It's a sneaky disengage to recontest with the sound barrier, locking everybody in place. Seb so crucially low, hits a crucial rock, but is that enough to save him? I don't think it is. The wall comes through, but just not in time. The reeling is RIT as they just can't find any purchase on this point. My goodness, it looks like it will be a .2 capture for the side of University of Hawaii.
4 minutes on the clock. Hawaii, the Rainbow Warriors, are gaining time as they go through this map. They have more time now than when they started. That is how fast we are moving. Math Dealer already about to collect another Sigma ult to his name, and this Baptiste window is probably going to help that out quite a bit. Foliage size for their Blizzard as well.
Wow, the sound barrier is committed, so it is a trade, and those ultimates, the window as well. But look at the space that they are getting for the side of the University of Hawaii, just careening and corralling the side of RIT into that corner. The Grid Flux does get up and slams it back down. The artillery strike has to be forfeited to try to create some space to let them out of the spawn gates, but it's not even enough. Look at all of the spam, all the focus fire coming out of those doors. This telegraph movement from the side of RIT is just it's too easy. They do lay down the window to try to get some damage, but Matthew just skirts it and says, okay, I'll just hit you from the side here. Sound barrier does come down from Rescue Toast to try to will their team forward, and they are able to find some kills on the back of it. Will this be enough for them to find some stability and mount a defense?
Great play by Seb there. They pulled Math Dealer in, recognized the Math Dealer aggression, and knew Math Dealer can't use Rock, they can't commit Suck super heavily, because they know that I have a Sigma Flux of my own, and they're trying to save their abilities for that resource. So the moment Seb realizes that, they know they can push the aggression. All Math Dealer has is a little bit of shield dance, and the VAP team commit the ammo to them. The moment ammo's out, nothing is protecting University of Hawaii from that Sigma ult, and everyone's dead.
Absolutely, and the dance we shall do as the Sigmas are battling it out. Shield, Rock, and Grasp at all. But Seb does fall first, and here's the Blizzard committed now, blocking everybody in place. The Lamp also for good measure, and I think that'll be a quick team kill and then also a point capture for the side of Hawaii. Wow, that was fast.
Yeah. Still 3 minutes on the clock. One last heroic fight from RIT there at the end. Great play by Seb, but at the end of the day, it's not enough to overcome a 5:30 time bank on point 3. What a ridiculous number to come in through on Kings Row. Across the entire map, they lost 40 seconds off of their initial time bank. I mean, that's just unheard of against teams against this caliber, really, is what it comes down to. RIT here, we thought this was going to be their map. You were talking about it. They've got Kings Row. This is classically Ryan. This is classically Seb. But it just doesn't matter. RIT does not have an answer to Math Dealer. Usually we're talking a lot about Akamai here on University of Hawaii. They're, really, really big. Usually we're talking about Math Dealer as well, but Math Dealer pretty quiet on that first map. Akamai really quiet on that first map. This time, however, Akamai is putting in a ton of work on that Bastion, just out damaging anything Seb could do. Seb, hyper aggressive tank. They want to get in. They want to fight. They want to make the play. But rolling into this Bastion and Maywall when used properly completely nullifies that strategy. And I don't know that Seb knows how to play with a foot on the brake. I don't know how they know how to play without just, final gear, all acceleration, pedal to the metal, because they're getting absolutely exploited on it right now. The one time they were able to play that hyper aggressive, hyper competent, hyper mechanical tank play, it worked wonderfully, but you're not going to be able to do that every single fight. You're only going to have a situation like that maybe out of, 1 out of every 10 fights. And they're just not finding those situations right now against the amount of power that Hawaii is bringing to the table.
Look, you make a fantastic point. I mean, Bastion on the other side just locks you into Sigma. Sigma is so good at countering the Bastion because he has the shield, he has the grasp, he has the rock, and that just counters everything that Bastion can do. So you have to play him. You put him Ryan against the Bastion, Ryan's going to lose most times, right? So he just had to make the switch. Unfortunately, he made the switch too early, and the snowball came through too heavily for the side of Hawaii. Looks like we have a little bit of a ring around the rosy now as the teams have switched points here. The turret form is committed now from the side of Foliage. He's looking to lay in some damage, but doesn't get enough. A lamp now has to be tossed out to save the rest of the team. Another rotation coming out, and Akamai is just finding Seb's number, just taking him to town and sending him back to spawn. He finds another as well, and it looks like that rotation took a lot of time off the clock and was a failed attempt from the side of RIT.
I mean, that's a lamp that's required. You've got to use it in that situation, but the moment out, you're done. The moment it's been used, there's nothing left protecting RIT there. Everyone on such low health. Math Dealer hitting every single one of those shots. The insane splash damage. I mean, look at this. It's a minute 20 into the fight, and Sigma ult's ready to go here. Oh no, not the Sigma Bastion combo too. That's just mean.
and the lamp has to be committed there to keep everybody up, and the windows now from both sides, they have to mitigate by rotating over here through this hotel room and get to the other side of that window. But the May is there with the FM blaster just to lay everybody, and they're blocking off with the blizzard and the wall. Can they escape now, RIT? No, they cannot. Map Dealer's there, and he's hunting. He's looking for those eliminations. He wants those kills to his name. A Gravitic Flux now? No way. That just has to be an escape mechanism. He does slam him down. Can he find an elimination off of it? Banana's so low, and he gets the rock in midair. No way. Can he clutch this by himself? There's absolutely no chance. Okay, they do corral him now into this hotel, but the spawn advantage does come through from the side of RIT. They are going to support their tank, and okay, looks like they're chasing them down now. The University of Hawaii. Okay, it's stabilized, Loki. They have stabilized.
Yeah, I love that window mail at the end of that last play. I mean, window's such a fast ability, it's almost a cooldown on Baptiste, and so they use it there to say, hey, we're going to cover down point, you have to go into hotel. And the moment they do, guess what? Mail, huge. They've got everyone in a closed space, trapped them all down, they've just corralled them like cattle to the slaughter, and it works so well.
Wow, okay, I think Matt Dealer got stunned out of it. Both sound barriers, the beat is flying from both sides, the music is bumping, and here comes the artillery strike being laid down from the side of Foliage and the photon barrier as well, trying to block off any damage coming out from the side of Hawaii. Will this be the turning point for RIT as they're looking to cap this point with only less than a minute remaining? A rotation coming through from the side of Bieber, and he does find that Baptiste in the back line, and he is buzzing, and he finds a double kill in order to secure the point for his team.
Question is going to be with RITs, even when they find success on this map, is it fast enough? Is it good enough? Can you match that Hawaii play? And the answer right now is no. You've got less time on the clock than Hawaii finished with, and we don't really see teams gaining time on street phase, especially not when they don't manage to get through arches before the recontest comes through. Hawaii, they don't have the arch hold like typical arch. They're more holding this back corner, but they can very easily retake it with a strong blizzard right here, and there is the blizzard.
Oh, and does find 3 and an absolute annihilation of RIT from that blizzard. They are feeling frosty and cold after that one. A good recontest from the side of Hawaii, only investing 1 ultimate in order to win that and gain some really good positioning now to defend this archway and this massive choke on Kings Row. About 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock as the RIT is making a long rotation into the top format here to try to get some high ground and lay in some shots. Let's see if they continue to rotate forward. They do have Rescue Toast on the Lucio, providing that speed boost. They do drop down now, trying to push forward around this corner here. There's the teleporter. Are they going to decide to use it? A Gravitic Flux comes through from the side of Seb. Does get 2, but it's just not enough. Oh, the artillery strike does land and does claim the life of Akame. Okay, but the window now is committed to keep everybody alive with the healing and the damage. The endothermic blaster from the May just doesn't even care about the grasp. And there goes Seb straight back to spawn. Just the supports careening and corralling themselves back to the spawn, trying to get there. No, and the staggers come through for the side of Hawaii, and a massive fight win for them.
Is say an art major or something? Because this man is so creative with their walls. At the end there, they saw River God had the ult, and so they threw up the wall, not to isolate, not to cut people off from healing, but to trap the entire RIT team in with a window directly in front of their face. No escape there, just damage, and it wins them the fight.
Oh my gosh, the brutality, the humanity, Loki. This is just, oh man, everything is going the way of University Hawaii. Rescue Toast poor got caught out right at the beginning of that, and then everyone just came tumbling down afterwards. Just the Gravitic Flux actually committed there to win that fight. Less than a minute now on the clock for RIT. A switch to the Echo on the Peeber to try to recontest this and maybe get something done. They do have 70 towards their copy ultimate, so maybe that'll do something. But here comes the artillery strike laying down into the back line, and they're trapped once again by the creative ice wall of Say, and there's the blizzard to boot. Does it lock anybody in place? No, because they're all dead. It doesn't even matter. Just the Echo in the sky doesn't even escape the hyperspheres of Map Dealer, and once again a fight win for the side of University of Hawaii, and only 20 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, the one thing they did wrong was win that fight too fast. Actually, they left just enough time on the clock for RIT to be able to find a fight here, and they used all of their resources so perfectly there's nothing left on the table. Not that it matters! Akamai gets a kill before it even starts. Matt Dealer with the follow-up, and the last fight's going to be a 3v5.
My goodness, that's the second time in a row they have found a early pick to just create a disadvantage. It's massive, and so just a couple ultimates for show, just to get everybody down and out. Just Rescue Toast trying to do something to keep the point alive, and it doesn't even matter. Overtime Wick burns, and it goes down. And hey, Loki, we are knotted up at 1-1.
I mean, I think that map is a lot more what we were expecting out of the Rainbow Warriors. We said they like long games. We said they don't like it when it's 3-0. It can't be 3-0 anymore, y'all. So this is exactly what they're looking for. Math Dealer, an insane player throughout this entire one, but I really think the MVP of this map goes to Say. All of those walls, completely ridiculous, so inventive. I mean, just absolutely changing the entire game. Normally we view wall as just like, oh, it's just for isolating. Oh, it's just for cutting off heals. No, that is a trap that Say is setting down anywhere they can, forcing people into exactly the area they want. No one is escaping any ability that anyone is using there. I mean, they used it in order to pull people in. Beforehand, they used it to set up windows for different abilities. Usually use it to just counter the other teams. No, my friends. Maywall is a setting up your own window ability now, as we've learned by Say. What amazing play across the board there.
And it must be fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, sometimes when you're just locked into these metas, you're like, oh man, I have to play this person again. Oh, I gotta play this. No, Say's taking it to the next level. Like, okay, I gotta play May. There's so many things I can do with this. I'm a divergent thinker. I'm thinking of ways that I can set up and create these different advantages for my team to win these fights so cleanly and without having to invest ultimates and other abilities. The other thing that they're doing is punishing Seb for being that aggressive tank, like you were mentioning. And we saw that 2 or 3 times there. Seb just getting walled off and just taken down so easily. But with that being said, our next match is Flashpoint and Servasa. So if this is anything like the Control, where RIT had a big advantage there, they won that kind of clean, maybe they can carry that momentum in this. They have to maintain the mental fortitude. They can't go reaning in their mind, being like, we just got crushed on that map. They have to be like, we can win this one. But before we do that, we're going to head to a quick break. So we'll see you in just a few. All right, welcome back, everybody. That was the quickest break in the league just to get us a little bit of water, and we are back at Servasa. Both teams using the Lucios to speed boost themselves to the Palace Point. We do have a Junker Queen coming out from Seb. Maybe that is what they will need to get past Math Dealer on this Sigma.
Yeah, almost default for RIT here. They have swapped out the Kiriko for that Baptiste. Genji or Mei, either one really works here. Meanwhile, Hawaii, though, they're just playing normal, kind of meta comp, minus the Ashe instead of a Sojourn here. And seems to be working for them as they're taking down people very quickly. I mean, we don't even get a chance to play-by-play on that one. That's just straight running it on through. Hawaii, they're looking very, very clean. I do like that they've brought in this Ashe on the angle rather than the Sojourn, specifically for the comp they're playing, to counter out the RIT comp. This RIT comp is going to be pretty built on top of each other. They're going to be pretty stacked. These dynamites are going to be huge. Being able to just sit on an angle with the additional, Sigma barrier is going to be massive against a team that has to be as highly paced as a Junker Queen comp. So I think this is exactly what you're looking for if you're Hawaii to counter out what RIT is playing.
for sure, and Say just takes so much of your attention that the Ashe is almost just free on those off angles to just lay in shot, as you saw that she gets that first pick, and a wall coming out right there to just lock Seb down, and there they go. See you later. There's the tank, and everyone comes tumbling there afterwards. I don't know if the Junker Queen is the move here with Say on the Mei, because the Junker Queen has no escapability, no survivability once they get walled off. They have no shield, no grasp, no stun, nothing. So multiple times there, Seb is the first one caught out and taken down. So Loki, I'd like to see a change from him.
I think the Junker can work fine. I mean, you've got to time your shouts against the Mei wall, and your team has to help you out. Is really what it comes down here. I think they're not getting the ammo that you really need with those walls from Liam, because there's just so much pressure on the backline. So either one, I think the switch needs to come from Liam possibly to get to the Kiriko, so you can just teleport through the wall, or you just, you do have to change the Junker Queen.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Once again, Seb very low. There's the immortality field, but Liam sacrifices his life to keep his tank up, but there's not enough healing coming through, and Rescue Toes doing their best to heal the team, but it's just not enough as Math Dealer lays down the damage and sends Seb back to spawn. Another clean fight win from the side of University of Hawaii, and they take this second flashpoint and start accruing some percentage, which we know goes up quite quickly.
Makes it hard to support your tank through Mei walls when you're trying to walk across open space and die first. I mean, that's just brutal there if you're, RIT Tiger. Here, though, look at Say. They've got the Mei ult built up. They're in their little hidey hole. Wherever RIT's pathing to get to the point here, it's not going to work out. Seb has made the change, but I don't think it's going to help him in this fight.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, there goes Rescue Toast. The immortality field does come up to keep him alive. Will they invest the sound barrier, though? The grasp does come through for Math Dealer, gets a little bit of extra over health from it. The sound barrier does come out from the side of Banana to keep his team alive so they can contest the point, and that's the only ult they will need to be able to survive. Actually, the Bob tossed in for good measure to just kind of do some cleanup there and space everybody out. I don't think that RIT will be able to contest this one, so they're going to try to respawn and go for the next point.
RIT's mare comping. That's not usually a good sign that you feel comfortable in what you're doing when you've swapped to mirror the other team's comp. That, especially when it's an off-meta one. It's usually teams do it as we're not quite sure how to beat this comp, so we're just going to mirror it and try to outdo them individually, kind of out-mechanic the play here. They've kept on the Genji, I imagine, just for that blade here. Everything else, though, is the same across the board, and if we look at those health bars, it's not looking pretty for them as we get started on this third point.
Yeah, they're going to be looking to combo that Sound Barrier to Dragon Blade to try to get some value here. Only the Gravitic Flux is standing in the way, which can thwart those Genji Blades to some great effect there. So he's going to have to be careful. Here comes the Gravitic Flux, as we were mentioning. The Sound Barrier committed now to keep everybody alive through it. Peeber does find the opposite number in Akame, so they are taken down. Some nice high ground advantage here from Liam, just able to lay in a ton of shots. And it looks like RT is going to be able to cap the point, I feel like, for once in this map.
Maybe Mirror Comp's what you need. Maybe I stand corrected. RIT looking good on that one. Granted, off the back of a very, very good blade by Foliage, and that's something they're not going to be able to replicate for this next one. Lucky for RIT, they're going to have a little bit of a reprieve there. They managed to kill Hawaii fast enough that no one on Hawaii managed to build up any ults coming into this next one. They're going to have a purely dry fight. So this point, I would imagine, goes RIT's way here if they hit a nice flux.
Yeah, they're going to have to try to win this in the neutral, the side of Hawaii, so they're going to have to be very careful with their cooldowns. A big accretion comes in, stuns a couple. Oh, he's got to be careful not to fall in the pit. Okay, he stays alive and does add an extra damage. Rescue Toast finding their opposite number, and so that is the Lucio down on the side of Hawaii. A couple cooldowns do come through. It looks like Hawaii will decide to retreat off of this one and not hopefully get staggered out. A nice jump with the Exo Boots, and the window committed to kind of find some more staggers, but it's just not enough. It's a trap! It's a trap, Loki! Say finds Rescue Toast, and Akame lays in some extra shots, and there goes Seb. So Say, he's not done yet. He's trying to find that Genji. He knows he has the matchup here, but no! Foliage does come through with a double kill on those slashes, but the point has been turned on the side of Hawaii. They do have the numbers now. Only Rescue Toast is alive, and they're trying to ferry the rest of the team back, but they don't have Seb on the tank. Luckily, only 16 to 20% on the clock now for the side of Hawaii. This is going to be a long fight. I can feel it, my friend. Here comes Rescue Toast flying in, and a window is now tossed down to try to lay down an extra damage, and there goes Banana, does find Liam. That's a huge deficit for the side of RIT. How will they overmount it? They will not. Foliage does fall soonly after, and there goes Mouth Dealer. He's hunting now. He wants to find the rest of these kills on the back end. He puts the shield to protect himself, laying in those hyperspheres, and does find a little bit more extra damage. Will he decide to commit himself further? Doesn't look like he just wanted that extra percent for the ultimate charge that he will use in the next fight to secure the map for his team.
The same Maywall continues to be the biggest trap ever laid. Anytime it's going out, it is completely rolling through RIT, and they keep getting caught by it every time. And there, what a juke on the Sigma to get the Maywall out!
Wow, absolutely massive. Both the beats are committed now to get everybody alive in the Dragon Blade, slicing and dicing his foliage. He does find one, but can he survive? He does have a river in his sight, but a headshot comes flying through. Okay, the battle rages now onward to the point, and Say is at full health, just laying in the blaster to Seb, and there's nothing he can do about it. So Say is liking where he's at right now. A nice accretion there as Liam was using the exo boots to try to escape, and the point has been turned, and that'll be the third point for this splash, and Hawaii will go up 2-1.
I love Say there, recognizing the opportunity. They see that Seb's pushed up a little bit farther, not positioning around the Mei wall. They think the Mei's, back dealing with the Genji, but Genji's dead, my friend. That Mei wall is all for you. And the moment Say sees that, they catch Seb out. No chance. Doesn't matter how fast you can break walls, you're not gonna break it fast enough to save your tank in that situation. Especially when you've got the Mei beaming you down. Mei beam is gonna go through Suck, it's gonna go through anything. There wasn't Rock to fight him off. That's exactly the situation you're looking for in order to close out the map. Say, once again, coming up huge. How often do we talk about Meis like this? This is a Mei player getting us amped up like this.
An absolute clinic coming out from Say, really showing everybody out there why this hero is in the composition, is in the meta right now, because they can do so much work. Even if RIT switched off to other people, they try to do Genji dive to get into the backline, like you were saying, all right, just go past him, try to cut the feet out from under him kind of deal. Doesn't matter. Mei is good at thwarting divers, right? Because she just goes and turns and slows them down, and then they shoot them, and then they're done, right? So an absolutely crucial hero choice from the side of RIT. So this is going to be massive. I mean, now does RIT, Hawaii, does RIT need to then focus and say, okay, Say the person we need to focus and then take them out? But how is that even possible when Mei has so much sustainability? So yeah, this is an uphill battle for the side of RIT, because there's just too many folks on the side of Hawaii that just can do so much work.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you don't beat a Mei by focusing the Mei out. You beat a Mei by positioning around it. Here, though, we're going to Circuit Royale, which is a map that's not traditionally known for Mei play. I wouldn't put it past Say at this point. I'm gonna trust them on whatever they choose. However, this is typically somewhere where we see a lot more focus on the sniping characters. All of the sightlines on this map are incredibly long. There's that long-range focus cover. And so I would expect to see something along the lines of like a Widow Hanzo or Ashe Hanzo. We know both of these teams have a good Ashe. Both of the Ashes on the last map performed admirably. So to see them on Circuit Royale again would not be surprising. I think the main question is, what are we going to see from the Flex DPS? Are they going to be playing the Hanzo? Are we going to see something wacky like a Junkrat? Are we going to see the Mei come back out for Say? I really wouldn't expect it, but my man's cooking.
Yeah, literally on fire. And I think Mei has that one tagline. She's like, oh, ow, I'm on fire, or whatever it is. And I feel like Say is feeling that in their seat right now. And I don't mind it, because she does have the long range icicle that Say has been using to great effect in this matchup. So maybe they do, and then any flankers that come through, she uses the blaster to slow them up. So it definitely could be, but looks like we have a Widow battle on our hands, my friend, and I am here for it.
Stays the Widow for Hawaii? That is not typically the case. Usually the hit scan dominates the Widow job. They're like, oh no, this is 100% me. I'm taking this one to the bank. I get to play Widow. This is my map. Say, however, popping out on the Widow. I believe it honestly, with how much they've been hitting their shots as Icicle at long range, I am terrified of a hit scan save at long range. Because those Icicles haven't only just been hitting, they've been hitting heads. Hawaii bringing out the Zen as well for the extra damage. They don't want the sustain from Alari, no. Both teams here looking to murder. Mirror comp on either side, the only thing that's different is Hitscan playing Widow on one side, Flex DPS playing it on the other. Both teams ready to get moving.
Absolutely, and I think something for the folks at home is that Zenyatta got a little bit of a nerf, in my opinion, to their Discord. So you can't Discord the same target over and over again. So once they get Discorded, there's I think it's like a 7-second like buffer period where they can't be Discorded again. So you're going to be looking for River God and Liam to just be switching targets constantly and calling out the shots in terms of who is going to have the Discord and who they need to be focusing. So to keep a lookout for that as these DPS try to find some purchase with their long-range shots. With that, a ton of space has been created on the side of University of Hawaii as they're just laying in the bullets, trying to just find some purchase and trying to take some heads down. A huge rock, though, will that be with the advantage? And it is, as the shield is down for just a moment. Peeper finds a headshot in the back line, and everybody has to scatter on the side of Hawaii. They're reeling now. They're retreating. Oh, another one for Peeper. That's two, and he gets one up in the Widow battle. Still, a few members remain on the side of Hawaii. Will they try to retreat fully, or will they just hold in this little room here? They're being pestered from all sides, and there goes Foliage finding River, and there he finds a double kill for themselves as well. They have to retreat now so they can stabilize.
2 minutes left on the clock, and not a lot to show for it from Hawaii. I don't think they got a single kill during that first fight, and as a result, their ult charge is not sitting very pretty there. Going to have to be taking this fight slow, trying to bait out some of the 5 ults that the Tigers have on their end. This Infrasite's going to just shut down a push for the next however long. With this one, I really don't know what the play is here. Circuit Royale, your DPS have to hit their shots, and Akamai and Sei just aren't hitting their shots. Right as I say that, Akamai finally does, but you know.
They sacrificed their life for it. The Gravitic Flux does come through, and here comes a slew of ultimates to keep everybody alive. Both supports committed to keeping their teams up. Will that be the detriment, right? As if this is going to be a long, drawn-out engagement. The window now coming out from Banana, just kind of creating a little extra more space so that Hawaii can find some purchase on the cart, and the race car is now moving forward. All 5 members on the side of Hawaii pressing and pushing their way forward. Seb does get taken down. The tank player now is Toast, and there goes Rescue Toast as well. Foliage does find a little retreating shot, but I don't think that'll be enough to halt the push coming here from Hawaii. They're definitely going to cap the first point now here with 1:15 on the clock. They get a little extra boost with that 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
What a kill there onto Seb at the end. You could tell Seb was positioning to try and get a flex there and help the team find the re-engage. And right when they looked like they were about to go for it, get utterly shut down. They get burned away in less than a second. This is not at all what we expect, especially when Rescue Toast is looking right at them. I think that was just, you know, the stars aligning. Rescue Toast had to hit a reload right when the barrier failed for Seb and they didn't have Suck. What a perfect moment there for Hawaii to get set up for this next fight.
Absolutely, and here we are in the neutral, just each team trying to find a way to crack the nut open on either side. Both Sigmas rotating their ults in a symphony with the rock, in the grasp, in the barrier. Here comes the Transcendence now to will the team forward, trying to find a pick. Here's charged up Akamai. Can they find something? They have to slide away from the Gravitic Flux. The Gravitic Flux does catch him in the end and slams him into the dirt. Buried is Akamai as he's sent back to spawn. Sei does retaliate though in the other end, finding the vulnerable Zenyatta in the back line, and here comes a Gravitic Flux of the own, capturing 3. A rock just misses, whizzes by the head. A stalwart performance from the side of Math Dealer now, and he takes everybody down, and they're able to push the cart to point 2.
After a little bit of a, false start, stalled engine, if you will, on that first point, Hawaii has been racing like Max Verstappen, getting through the rest of these ones. All ready to third with almost 4 minutes on the clock, and Math Dealer has set up on the final corner before RIT can really even respond. Peeber's going to find a kill, but I still don't know that RIT has a really good way to take the space away from Hawaii. Rainbow Warriors are so entrenched on this corner. They're playing so aggressively that RIT is forced to take the long way around. And during the whole time where they're moving, during the whole time where they're rotating, this car is still pushing forward.
Absolutely. Now both infra sites coming out, so everybody knows where everybody is, but who will take advantage? And it is Peeber who draws first blood on the map dealer, once again punishing that aggressive positioning. Oh, River, he has to be careful. He's the slowest Zenyatta in the league. Can he find his way out? He can. Oh, but does he sacrifice his counterpart in the interim? No, he does not. But Liam, while everyone else is distracted, just lays down the damage as Zenyatta's are apt to do, and that is a push thwarted. Finally, some stability for the side of RIT that can take this high ground and mount a defense.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that Hawaii is going to be complaining about at all. They got all of that distance for practically free, only a widow wall. That's not something I'm losing any sleep over. Into this next one, they're going to be charging up the Zenalt pretty quick. It's going to be able to counter out really anything thrown their way. I don't know that there's anything needed for it quite yet, so we might even see a Zenalt used for just tempo here and, aggression.
Absolutely, that could be what they need, the go button to will themselves forward. That window was very interesting, though. It was kind of cut off a little bit by that barrier. Now they're getting, this fight is being taken outside. Yo, catch me outside, they say. Can they find some kills off of it? Map dealer does find foliage, and they make their way to this pool section, about to go swimming. They said, map dealer says, you're about to sleep with the fishes, friend. As they're laying in the shots, there's Akamai finding two headshots there to send them reeling back to spawn. A triple kill for the side of University of Hawaii. The cart is moving forward now ever so closely to the end point. A minute 30 on the clock. Everyone's going to have to do the stall champions now. Just get back to the point. I'm seeing a tracer now for the side of Peeber. Gets taken very low, has to recall, and there it is. Not enough to contest, and they make it to the end.
A minute 30 on Circuit Royale, a map where we traditionally don't even see full caps, much less caps high enough to cross that minute barrier. What an amazing performance here by Hawaii. The best part, that final fight where they ran up it and Akamai just hit every single shot in the world, they did that a man down. That entire time they were pushing cart. They were playing the objective. They knew the purpose of the fight. And still, even a man down, they win that one because they just out-mechanic their opponents. Akamai hits every shot. Math Dealer is hitting those huge, splash damage orbs onto everybody, setting up the perfect plays. I mean, that is exactly what you were looking for from your team in that situation. They went up on that route without a healer as well, I believe, and just perfect barrier placement, perfect ability to rotation to make sure they weren't taking damage and they could give the DPS all of the space they could ever need to make their play. That is what I love to call unselfish tank play right there. Not looking for the play yourself, looking, how can I make my DPS better? How can I bring the rest of my team this win? And you do it by taking no damage, setting up your abilities right there, and letting Akamai create their own play of the game in one moment.
Absolutely. Taking that space, facilitating the team. That is what the tank is there to do. Okay, RIT has to maintain a solid mindset now because they know what they have to be, and sometimes that could be a daunting task, especially with 1:30 and on the clock and 3 points in the bank for the side of your opponent. So they have to play this cleanly, but they have to maintain a level head. Okay, the Sigma battle is raging now. It's like the Spider-Man meme where they're just pointing at each other, shields and all, rocks flying forward as well. But the rain of bullets is flying from Sei and from Akamai. Foliage, though, is on the Hanzo. You did mention this, Loki, that could be a tried and true strategy. So let's see. Maybe he can get some value out of that ultimate, do some shield break with the storm arrows, and he does find a pick, as I mentioned it, as Riverdog goes down to the sonic arrow, no less, and a double kill as well for the side of Sei. So let's see if they got it. So much space now has been created. They have to be able to move forward now. Can they cap the point, or will University of Hawaii be able to mount one final defense?
This foliage play on the Hanzo, I find that really, really interesting. Normally, we see something like that more on the defensive side. He can really choose his angle to set up his thing. You can choose where you're going to fight it. This time, though, they're keeping it on the offense, letting them just try to get lucky with their shots so they can choose their engagements like whenever they need to. Sadly, is going to fall before the fight even starts, so RIT going to be able to regroup and think about how they want to pace this next fight. Stowe's stealing on that Hanzo, however, confident in it, as the staggers are now coming through. That's a brutal stagger, and even with that fight loss, it does look like the Rainbow Warriors are outpacing Hawaii, or outpacing RIT just barely on a couple different characters. Looks like that same ult's going to come up first. Akamai is probably going to be the first ult in the video game. How often do we see an overclock as the first ult in the game?
Yeah, that's just the testament of how much damage they are putting out with the disruptive shot and the blaster itself. But Foliage finding another pick. They know what target they need to get, and as every time we talk about this player, something happens, whether they're getting a pick or they're dying, and so Foliage just sent back to spawn. It's a 4v4, but I like the side of RIT now, as they have the advantage as one support down. Can they capitalize? Say's looking, he's trying to find something, and the fish are up in the sky, but the Transcendence comes through to keep everybody alive, but it's just not enough, as Akame with a fully charged pulse cannon does take Peeper down with the headshot. But everybody with the there's that overclock like you were mentioning. Can that be the saving grace? No, as Seb comes with a fist to the skull and sends him back to the spawn doors. Okay, a little extra purchase now RIT has, as they are moving the cart forward. Just these a sneaky volley of orbs hits Say and says see you later. 3 members on the side of RIT are moving this cart towards point 2.
You know, I said Hawaii was Max Verstappen. I think maybe it's Lewis and his RIT is matching their time by just a little bit, pulling away on all of these turns. A great ether by Matthew, but lifted in the air. Can they survive? Yes, they absolutely can. I'm gonna have to keep changing my opinion on who the F1 drivers are.
You know, Loki, I appreciate those analogies because I also watch Formula One myself, so I appreciate that.
Excited for Vegas this weekend.
So, but Loki, in that Macular, a huge grasp, it sucked up the dragon. No dragon came through from Foliage. We were looking for that to come through as to being an impactful ultimate to creating space and allowing some kills to come through. Didn't even matter. Macular was there to deny that ultimate. Absolutely massive stuff from him. Okay, an uphill battle both in the game and metaphorically RIT has, as they're trying to mount an offense to get this car over the finish line. They have a lot of work to do and not a lot of ultimates to do it. But Foliage, an opening pick once again. Headshots just flying through from this man. He is dialed in. He is keyed up and ready to fly. All right, but River Dog says I can headshot too, and they do find Peeper in the backline, who has switched to Ash no less, which maybe that Bob will be a more impactful ultimate as they can contest the point and move it forward. All right, the battle is still raging forward as both Sigmas are fighting each other. Here comes the Gravitic Flux with no Transcendence, 10% off. The Immortality Field does have to be committed, but it's just too late because as the supports were in the sky, the tank decided to die, and there goes University of Hawaii with a tidal wave over RIT.
You know, with the stall out on this last point, it's looking more like Ferrari now. The mechanical issues catching up to RIT, because they just can't find their way on through here. University of Hawaii still set up. Both support ults ready to come through. Akamai as well. They've been brutal with that overclock all day long. They almost turned a fight about halfway through the street phase, looking almost like they can turn another one. And with this Transcendence, Bob or Dragons on the table, it could counter probably both of them, and then Window just to fight out the other. I mean, I really do think the Rainbow Warriors are in a perfect place right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's the Window committed. The Dragon does split them in two, though. Can Seb win out this tank battle? He's looking like he can. A knuckle to the noggin sends his counterpart back to spawn. The River Dog just too late in terms of the Transcendence. A hefty amount of ultimates committed on the side of RIT, but they need to because they have to get this point with just a minute left on the clock. All right, they're able to then cap it now, and they still have 3 left to work with.
3 left. 2:30 on the clock. Still haven't quite captured this one, though. All the time, just ticking up more and more. Math Dealer, if they can survive here, they can maybe charge up another Sigma Flux. They've got a break to help them out. River God is here, and then they're gone. Don't worry about it. Moving right through onto that one. 2 minutes on the clock now, so I doubt that RIT is going to be able to cap with a bigger time bank than University of Hawaii, but they can probably cap with a comparable one. Probably about 15 seconds off if they win out their fights here.
Sure. I mean, and they have the tools to do it. Foliage almost has another set of dragons to come through, and there's nothing on the other side to counter it. So if he lands a few more shots, he could lay that one down this choke and just to cause a mess of havoc and damage. So he'll be looking to find a sneaky spot to do that with. All right, but the Infrasight does come through. They're looking for a pick. They're finding, they're communicating, saying where the rotations are coming for, where the supports are trying to hide from the power level of Say. They're looking for it. Ooh, close, close, close. Very sneaky, very sneaky. Does go back and gets that health pack. This corner now in this outside fight. I love going outside here because there's so much fun with the pool and the background and all that jazz. So the high ground though, and Akanai does find the first pick, and here comes the Gravitic Flux. Does catch two, slams him down, and there goes Seb with a couple of headshots to the skull, send it back to spawn. But RIT is not reeling just yet. They have a minute left on the clock. They have a foliage, so that was a really nice distraction play from him, but they have one more chance to recontest.
Oh. Hi. How's it going, team? Right back into this one. 40 seconds on the clock. We got ults coming in from RIT here. Only 2 ults on the table going to be starting off this fight. Are going to be that Sigma fucking Transcendent. Transcendent's probably not going to matter until Akamai hits that overclock. Now, they have been charging it pretty quickly here, so don't be surprised if we see it soon. River God is taking it into the other team, though. I have no clue what that play is.
It's the bait and switch Loki. They're like, oh my, it's just a Zen by himself. We got it. We can kill him. And then he comes out and gets 3 to his name. But Seb, on the other hand, does find a couple of kills. He does have the Baptiste at his back. 2 members from the side of RIT. Will that be enough to move this to the finish line? I don't think so, as the spawn advantage is in favor of Hawaii. So looks like Rescue Toast is taking a nice little flank here to keep his tank alive and the high ground. Foliage, another opening pick. This could be massive, but Seb is awfully low. Can he save alive? The immortality field does have to be committed now, as well as the window. Now they're investing everything they possibly can to get this thing over to the finish line. And Akamai with a headshot, raining damage from above. Can he find Foliage? I think he can, and I think that'll be the nail in the coffin for this push and for this match.
You know, they say when it comes down to the wire, put the ball in the hand of your stars. And Akamai certainly ran away with it there right at the end. Hits the overclock, catches 2, but most importantly, catches the Baptiste out. That allows for the kill on Cart onto the Sigma, and after that, it is all she wrote. Excellent job there by the Rainbow Warriors to close this one out and show that they are the upper of the middle, upper, high tier. Well done, Rainbow Warriors.
Absolutely, yeah. It took that first match, I think, for them to get a little warmed up, get their fingers ready to just lay down some absolutely crazy stuff. I think the MVP in this matchup for me, my friend, is Say. The things that they were doing on that Mei was absolutely crazy. And I also love the rhyme of their name. That's fantastic. Makes it easy to roll off the tongue for us. And then on the Widowmaker in that last match, they were laying down some pressure, maybe not getting as many headshots as maybe Foliage or some of the other folks, but they were putting in a lot of work, creating a lot of space, moving people into certain areas to let the rest of the team take them down. Sometimes just the threat of the Widow is all you need to do the work for your team. So we will have an interview actually with the tank player of the University of Hawaii, Math Dealer. So we will get to that just after this.
Well, we love the focus. I do gotta say though, it looked like you and Say on Kings Row especially were just like sharing the same brain, one player on two keyboards. Is there anything special y'all do to train that connection, or is that just like the hours and hours upon playing?
Uh, we've been just spending the last like couple of weeks just practicing like communicating with each other. Like if he wants to do something, I'll follow him. If I want to do something, he'll follow me. And, yeah.
All right. Is there like a special call out that you say, like I'm going in, or like it's my turn, or something like that, or is it just you just kind of just feel it out as the match progresses?
We're usually just playing slow, and then like if one of us wants to go in, we just like give like a countdown, like saying, "Oh, I'm going in like 3, 2, 1," whatever, something like that. So
Gotcha.
that way we're like
Okay.
all ready. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for providing some of that insight into your team coordination. Math Dealer, is there anybody that you want to shout out here while you're on the interview?
Shout out to my teammates and my coach. We've all like been putting in a lot of work these past few weeks, and starting the show. And we're hoping to do better the next few weeks, get some more wins. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And we look forward to casting some more of your matches as well. For the folks at home, this is the end of our week here on the EGFC Overwatch 2 cast. So thank you so much for joining us. Once again, HC Philly B, Loki, and our producer Blizzard, we thank you once again for watching, and we'll see you next Thursday.